Mouse has like
And we are live.
Yeah.
Cut that conversation off right there.
Yeah, not finishing that.
You don't want to get sued by the mouse.
What TOS
many
breaking
of us?
how many TOS breaking TOS conversations were you having?
It was both a TOS breaking conversation and a lawsuit.
Wow.
We don't
Were the
do shit by
Pinkertons involved?
halves.
Alrighty. Hello, welcome. We out here.
I didn't get my coffee because of fucking Mickey Mouse. I'll be right back.
Stop blaming Mickey Mouse. Quit. It's not his fault. He's
That's
just
right.
mad that he's just mad that I do a really good Mickey Mouse impression and it's distracting.
It
Oh
is actually
boy.
really good. Holy
That's
shit.
Rosa in the chat. Can we get some what's up for Rosa?
What's up, Rosa?
What's up, Rosa?
Little do we know that the main boss of T-Dop is going to sound like Mickey Mouse.
I hate it here. The fuck?
It's gonna be just as bad as One Piece with the giant like stone fortress guy being the high pitched. Oh yeah, his name is Pika. I'm gonna smash him dead.
Oh, but...
Everybody starts laughing at him.
Oh my god.
Oh man, sorry, Rose, I ruined.
Mickey
gotta start over.
Mickey Mouse screaming Eldritch Blast.
Eldritch Blast.
And so we are going to war.
The Mickey Mouse. It's like phase 2. The Mickey Mouse clubhouse comes to life, and you have to fight that.
Layer actions.
But with the hot dog song in the back, like with the
hot dog,
Yeah,
hot diggity dog.
It's not vicious. That's what you hear when he casts Dissonant Whispers.
No, you hear Goofy singing, "Gorsh, what have you done? You're a pink pony girl. Can you dance at the club? I'm 62 years old." Okay.
I'm not
crying.
I am not conscious enough for half of this conversation.
You look like you're staring into a great light, like you're going into the afterlife.
Just take me already.
Malls, have you auditioned for Disney before? No, they wanted me so bad, dude. They wanted me so bad. It's not even a joke. But my parents didn't want me to be a fucked up child star, so they said no. They're just trying to hold me back. Anyway, we're back after a month with the downfall of Propriety. How is everybody doing?
Okay.
I had a quick burst of energy before stream, and now it's gone now, and I'm back to feeling kind of ugh. But
Yeah,
I will do my best.
You wasted it all on Mickey Mouse.
But if you need to call the show early or anything like that, don't feel like you have to run everything and power through it.
I probably just won't be like, putting on the show of a lifetime as I usually do with you guys. I might have to bring it down to like 90%. I hope that's chill.
Works for me.
Prioritizing self-care is definitely the most important thing.
For context, yeah. For context, I just have a tiny bit of my stupid migraines that I get, but I'm a woman, and women are strong, and we can get through anything, except getting an audition with Disney to do my Mickey Mouse impression. That I cannot do. One of these days. What's everybody been up to? How you doing?
Surviving the heat wave on the East Coast.
Working. And it makes me feel dirty saying it, but actually doing prep for Daggerheart.
Ooh, now we're getting serious.
That's too political, Rojan. Tone it down.
Political.
Spicy.
Calm down.
Calm down.
It honestly makes me feel weird because I usually just run games, on the fly and do everything as it happens. Feels weird having to go back and actually plot things out a little more specifically because it's a new system.
I'm the opposite. I over prepare and I get over specific, and you guys are like, "Hey, fuck you," and you go down Wall Street, and I'm like, "Hello." I'm running to catch up with you guys.
That's
That was me in the first Sonata game. I planned everything out to a T, and first session it derailed.
that's why for my
I know
first
now.
game, I had Corey. Like Corey knew like pretty much everything that I was planning for Under the Mountain, and I was like, Just keep them on track.
Yeah,
Like we know they need to go from point A to point B. I'm okay with some shenanigans, but please just steer them back."
my character was pretty much the DMPC.
Oh, that's nice. Unofficially, I've made Effie my DMPC.
Oh, do
Help
you get healthcare? Dental?
Yeah, you get weekends, dental, weekends, dental.
I get
Dental on
I
the weekends only.
I get to sit here and be like, how can my character be of use today, master?
I dub the DMPC. Get to work. Okay. Welcome back. Where the F did we leave off?
Party.
Okay. So essentially, holy shit. Gaius has been on an investigative streak trying to figure out who or where this person who is promising a cure for the plague is. I'm gonna go talk to Homley Gusford, both of his brothers, Headmistress Holt. Unfortunately, it's not turning up a whole lot, just because it seems that this person who had approached Gabriel about killing Lord Rasmus in exchange for a cure for his brother. They just have the means to promise whatever the person deeply needs. And so looking around for anybody else who might be in a similar position, Gaius also kind of put himself in that position by doing some sort of facade at the academy, making it seem like he was very desperate for a way to save his brother from being quarantined in with the plague, which I fell for that. I fell for that immediately. I was like, "No way, this is so good." And then, our Belriel also talked with Headmistress Holt, and while that was happening, she got a letter. Essentially, she's been doing some research on that poison and the plague that's decimating the lower edge right now, and it's found that there is a connection um, on the deepest biological level between the two. So they might be used from the same plants, almost something similar. It's a big breakthrough. Reggie is on patrol duty. He's a good, hardworking Minotaur doing his job, protecting the city. I'm proud of him. Um,
Goody little
and
two
then
shoes.
what'd you say?
Goody little two shoes.
Yeah, goody little two shoes. And then they ended up at the Fitzgerald's house for a dinner. And her best friend Priscilla was also revealed to be there as well as a surprise. And I've been very nervous for this dinner because I'm afraid of what Gaius is going to pull. But as I said before, I'm a woman. I'm brave. There's nothing we can't handle. But just take it easy on me a little bit because I'm scared.
I've been consistently like being like, don't do anything, don't give my father a heart attack, don't go after like seriously.
You came in yesterday. I was playing, was it God, I forget what I was playing.
Whatever.
The zombie
video
game I've
games.
been playing the entire time. And then like out of nowhere you come in, you're like, please don't fuck my best friend tomorrow. And I like that threw me off because I'm like, what?
Okay, but which one? And the dinner is a bit of a front so that someone can sneak into Lord Fitzgerald's office to find out more about this mystery that is afoot. And we ended with everybody walking into the dining room. However, we're not going to start there. I actually wanted to hop over to our burial. You're at your house, right?
I think so.
I think that's where we left off.
I think so.
Didn't- Yeah. You're at your house. I think you Gosh, where did you leave off? Yeah. Regardless, I think you were planning on having a meeting with Emily.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah. And so while you're at home, you hear a knock at the door. You know what? It's way too quiet up in here. I gotta put my stream music on. Excuse me, everybody.
Sorry, I have to put on the game music too. My bad.
Gosh, what have you done?
Thank you for the serenade.
You're a pink pony girl. Okay, I think while you are... What are you doing at home?
I think our Belriel's probably just retired to his study to dwell on the conversation that he had with the headmistress.
Which was some big news. And while you're in there, you hear a small knock at the door.
I think our Belriel's actually, rather than yelling as he usually does, he's gonna get up and crack the door open and peek out to see who it is.
And you see Emily there. She looks... Am I coming in at a bad time, sir?
No, I wouldn't say it's a bad time. Just it's been a long day.
If you don't mind me saying, sir, I do look a little worse for wear. Is there anything I can get you?
No, I think I just need time to think things over. That's all. I appreciate your concern.
Of course. Did you want to talk another time then about...
Oh, no. Now is as good a time as any. Things are moving, and so we have some important matters to discuss.
Very well. She steps into the room and closes it behind her. She kind of stands there awkwardly. She goes, did you have something you wanted to say first? Because I have a lot.
Well, before we speak, I think it's best that we make sure there aren't any ears listening in. So if you will give me just a moment, I planned on doing this properly, but time is of the essence. So he's going to take out of his pocket the earring that he was given. There's no time to go down to our local Claire's to get myself pierced, so
I'm sorry.
The pierce.
I'm sorry. Sir, you're going to do that here now?
Yeah, so what he's gonna do is he's gonna take two of his fingers and just kind of pinch his ear, and he's gonna use his frostbite cantrip.
Okay.
But not like blasting himself with ice, but just to use the cold from that cantrip to numb his ear.
Ooh, interesting.
And
Whatever
then
you say, Van Gogh.
He's gonna force the earring through.
Okay.
It is described as numbing frost, so
It also says you have to make a Constitution saving throw.
I choose to fail that con save.
Okay. So then, Do you want me to roll the cold damage or no?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. You take 6 points of cold damage.
Of course it's a 6.
It's the new dice. They gotta get broken in. Thank you, eyeball.
Damn dice.
She goes,
yeah.
"Oh."
So he forces that through, and he visibly winces. He's not used to that sort of pain. My apologies for being so abrupt with that, but matters are pressing.
He goes, "Do you need assistance at all, or?" Because did you put the frost through, or just numbed your ear? You haven't pierced it yet.
Well, he'll numb his ear with the frost, and then use the earring itself to force through the ear. Earring is not typically very sharp, so
She goes,
it's
"You know
not
what?
going to be a fun time for him. But
I actually have," and she reaches in her bag. She goes, "I have a sewing kit. I just carry it on me. You probably don't notice, but sometimes when you tear your jacket or someone in the family tears their jacket, it's immediately fixed. That's me."
I
She goes,
didn't actually know that.
"Yes. Well, you are very welcome, sir." And she goes, "I could just do that. It's a lot easier than a
If you
dull
don't mind,
earring."
yes.
Yes. She gestures towards your chair. She goes, "Just in case you pass out or anything, sir."
And he sits down and kind of pulls his hair back to get it out of the way, so she has easy access.
Sure thing. I think I'm just gonna have her roll a sleight of hand, probably. Okay. She pulls up alongside you and kind of holds onto your ear, and with a very steady hand, she pushes the needle of her sewing kit through, holds it there, and then holds out her hand for the earring.
And I hand it to her.
And then as she's pushing it through, she follows through with the earring. And then she kind of takes a little bit of gauze out of her pocket as well and just kind of holds it around there. There's a tiny bit of blood, but it sticks. But you can still, the earring is in. She goes, "What was the purpose of this, sir, if you don't mind me asking?"
Right, I didn't explain myself, did I?
No, sir.
Well, I had a meeting with Headmistress Holt earlier, and she gave me this little trinket. She has one herself and showed me how it works. It will hide us from prying ears and eyes.
That is a very valuable gift indeed.
And once he kind of gets over the initial pain of the piercing, he will stand up and activate the earring to encompass him and Emily.
Okay. You feel a very similar sensation as when you're in Headmistress Holt's office, where it feels like warmth is trickling down the top of your head, down the back of your neck, down your back to the back of your soles of your feet. And you and Emily are in this sort of dome column. How tightly are you forming that to you?
Tight enough that we only really have a couple feet of free space around us. So, we don't have to be like right up on each other to have a conversation, but it's small enough that it's not encompassing the whole room or anything like that.
Okay, and where's your lamp?
I think he probably would have placed that on a small table beside the door when he first entered his study when he got home.
Okay. And she goes, So if we speak now,
We can
nobody
speak
can hear
freely,
us?
yes.
Okay. Whew, that is one way to end the day.
It certainly is, and it has been quite a day up to this point. Unfortunately, not everything that I know I can share with you, as much as I would like to, as I do trust your judgment. I am restricted on certain things after my meeting with the headmistress.
Technically, the specific restrictions where you could share this information with anyone you trusted.
Oh, that's right, yes.
So you could if you want to, but that becomes down to your judgment call.
Yeah, I think he's gonna stick with what he said. I think there's certain things that he wants to confirm before sharing information. But on a
Chosen.
different note, what I did want to speak with you about was our businesses, our employees specifically. I have learned recently that there is a very, very good chance that the eyes have infiltrated not just our businesses, but those of many of the high houses. This is unacceptable to me.
I understand that, sir, but I'd like to be positive that we have a trustworthy circle around us in the meantime, but I will reassess our current employee log and all those on our staff and make sure there's nothing untoward going on.
See that you do. And if you have to take more extreme means to confirm any suspicions that you may come up with, if you have to force some people to speak the truth, do so.
Yes, sir. If I may, I looked into some of our current businesses going on. And currently, it's hard to find any real traces of, I suppose, I don't know how to say this properly. I went very far back in our business dealings, and there is a very definite chance that the Nightwing situation is not at all new. In fact, it's probably been going on for several years, in which case, I mean the gathering and the transportation of it from the forest into Sargenty. And unfortunately, it looks like we have also been involved in that as well. I can't see if there's any current actions within this company of our involvement with that, with the possible batch that might have harmed Lord Rasmus, but I don't know if that was a you decision or if your father has been involving himself again. But as of right now, it looks like we are in the clear, but our past actions doesn't look very good for us.
That is a little bit concerning, given what I have been told recently. If our hands are currently clean of it, that's good.
I can see, just from what I can see.
But if we need to clean ourselves of it, I think we should, as I will spare you all the details, as I have yet to actually confirm them. But there is a chance that this Nightwing is also related to the plague that's going around. And I do not want to be associated with that.
Very well. That is troubling news indeed.
That
She said-
information doesn't leave us, by the way.
Of course, sir. She sets some records in front of you, and she says, if you look here, it's showing the progression of our gathering in the forest throughout the past 30 years or so, bordering on 40. And it seems that our gathering of our other goods like wood, lumber, various very non-deadly plants, everything you could get from a forest has gone up. While specifically tracking the Nightwing, it looks like it started out very regular, declined, but then it just seemed to cut off. It's a little odd. It cut off around maybe 6 months ago.
That's odd indeed.
Once again, I don't know if you inadvertently stopped it or if your father or mother were involving themselves, but that's just from what I can see. Can you give me an Arcana check?
I sure can. Oh, that D20's gone somewhere. That I'm never gonna find it. That's a 25.
Wow. You're looking at these reports, and you're looking at the place in the reports where it seems to cut off about 6 months ago. And you can sense a sort of trace of magic left on it. With the 25, you could probably sense that it's some sort of illusion on this report.
Like an illusory script of some kind.
Yeah. Emily being Emily, she is just a regular person. I don't think she would have been able to catch that, and the dice say no, she couldn't, so.
So getting that sense, Arby likes to... Now I'm calling him Arby. Great, thanks, guys. He likes to confirm everything before he acts. So getting that sense when he sees it, he will then cast Detect Magic to see if that pings.
It definitely pings in the room. You have various magical items in the room, but it also does ping on that report there. I guess in terms of School of Magic, it would be like illusion. But that is what you see there.
Well, I'm afraid this rabbit hole just keeps getting deeper and deeper for us.
What do you
Seems
mean?
those records have been manipulated magically.
Okay, these were in a very old records room in your family's old office in the house, so not many people have access to that. I could see if anybody's been there in the past year. That's going to take me a while, but
Yeah, I almost hate to suggest this, but I feel like I may have to have a conversation with my parents.
sorry. Of course, I am always a fan of talking to your father.
That makes one of us.
Mm-hmm. In fact, you wouldn't need me there, would you? Because I have so many things
I
to
would
do.
love to have your moral support,
Okay.
but you
I
do
just,
have more important things to do.
not more important, not at all. Just I'm just so busy with so many things, my lord.
Literally anything is more important than speaking to them.
Okay. Well, if you need me at all, again, I am always here for you. Just your father frightens me a little bit.
I may need you for a drink afterwards.
Of course, sir. Give me an insight check real quick.
Harvey's rolling great. That's a 19.
You can see that she's actually very pleased at the offer of getting a drink after, but you can also see a little undercurrent of, I guess one would probably call it like confliction. But quick as a flash, it's gone. She goes, was there anything else I could help you with, sir? I will go check out just past, because you have to sign into the records room. I can see who's been in there. It's a lot of paperwork, though.
I think that will be all for now, but keep room in your schedule on the daily for further meetings, just in case more comes up.
And she goes to say something else, but then you hear a knock at the door.
Arby will put his finger to his lips, and then he'll drop the protection from the earring, and then call out, "Who is it?"
The door opens and Nigel walks in, and he goes, "Sir, apologies for the late bother, but there seems to be a Lord Partington at the door. Should I tell him that you are in your study and not to be disturbed?"
No. Did he say why he was here?
He didn't, but I do have to say, so I do not approve of the late hour at which he chooses to
That will be all, Nigel.
Sorry, sir. Very apologies, sir. I will go fetch him. Why are you so mean and Nigel?
I didn't ask for his opinion.
Okay. Nigel gives you a small bow, apologetic bow, and he leaves the room, probably to go collect Lord Partington. And Emily turns and says, "I should probably go."
I'll keep you updated on anything I find out. But thank you.
Oh, and she reaches in her back pocket. She goes, "I have some mail for you here, but you can look at it later." She sets it on the corner of your desk, and she gives you a small bow. And as she's exiting, Nigel's coming back in, and it's Avros there, and they kind of do that awkward shuffle around each other, but go on her way. And Nigel walks in and she goes, "Mr. Partington, sir," and gives you a small bow and leaves the room.
Well, this is a surprise.
I know, I'm sorry for the late hour. Your doorman is quite strict. Apologies.
He can be, yes. He's been here for many, many years, and kind of feels like he's in charge sometimes.
Can you describe your study for me real quick?
Yeah, it's full, well, not full, but it's got a really nice dark wood desk up against the wall, right across from the door, the entryway, with a big window that is like half stained glass, and along the walls are bookcases full of tomes of all kinds, history, politics, laws, all that stuff. And on the other side is a wardrobe, all of this furniture made from the same dark wood as the desk itself. A nice, like, crimson carpet, or rug, rather, not carpet. It's low light, very cozy, almost like a smoking room vibe, but not quite so, like, boys club bullshit.
Sure. Avros looks around. He goes, for all the fuss you made about it, I thought you would have your own knife collection.
Well, I wouldn't keep it in my study.
Oh. And he says, he kind of looks towards the mail pile on your desk. And he goes, oh, you, it looks like you got an invitation as well. And he kind of holds out a powder blue envelope. And it's the same color envelope as what Maddie had received at her house, which was, if you open it, an invitation to the Tufts estate for birthday party for their daughter Angharad. You would know who Angharad was, being at the Sargenty Idol. He goes, I got one as well. And I wanted to come here for a couple reasons. I just wanted to first off say that I'm sorry that our dinner got cut short the other night. I kind of steamrolled you a bit, making us go to Sargenty Idol, and I always realize after the fact that I do that, and I'm sorry.
It's quite all right, although it was very, very much out of my comfort zone. I'm glad I went. It was a good experience.
And he goes, well, that's good to hear. And I still feel badly about it. I'm trying to work on it, and I wanted to propose, maybe, if you're open to it, if you wanted to join me at that event. I'm just a bit nervous about going by myself. It's my first event after my father.
Right. Of course.
And yeah.
I would be happy to join you. Well, I should probably actually see when the event is before I confirm that. But
it's not tomorrow, it's the day after.
I'll make room in my schedule. I'd be happy to accompany.
And he says, and since you gave me such a very lovely gift the other day, that cane with I wanted to say as a sorry for burning your finger off, and to thank you for all your help. And he kind of pulls out from behind him a smaller dagger, but it's very ornately beautiful. It's got kind of a bronze and gold braided handle that goes into a very, like, about that long of a blade, but it's very well crafted. He goes, this one kind of reminds me of you a little bit, but I can't really put it into words, so don't ask me to explain. And he just sets it on your desk.
It's very beautiful. Thank you. This is,
of course.
Most unexpected.
Well, you said the things you liked about the collection was that they were beautiful, they were mine, and they were untouchable. So, there you go.
Well, something like this, I think, deserves to be seen by the world. And he goes over to the wardrobe. It's on the left side wall, and he opens it up and pulls on one of the hangers at the top of the wardrobe, and the back of it like juts forward and then flips around, and there's a big collection of daggers and holsters. Oh, look at that. I do keep them in here.
Wow, so you just straight up lied.
I wouldn't say I lied. It's more created an air of mystery.
He approaches it, he looks it over, he goes, if I touch it, am I gonna burn my hand off?
Do you want to find out?
Yes, I do. And he reaches his hand forward towards one of the daggers in the middle.
And he does not burn his hand off.
Kind of wraps his hand around one and pulls it forward. He goes, "This is very nice. How long have you been collecting?"
I used to collect in my youth, but haven't in some time, unfortunately.
Why is it all hidden away?
Father thought it was a waste of time.
It takes no time to collect something.
And a waste of money.
You have so much money. Unless you're in financial ruin and nobody has any idea, in which case I'm sorry.
Well, I haven't seen all the financials, but our house is still standing, so I assume we're doing okay.
He goes to put the knife back down. And he says, "Well, thank you for sharing with me. And thank you to everything that you and everyone else, Madeline, Gaius, Reggie, and Sonari are doing to look into this whole terrible affair. It's not fair of us to ask you about that, but I appreciate it all the same. I wish I could help more. I just don't know how."
It's a complicated matter, and I'm happy to help because you are my friend, but also we would be fools to think that something like this doesn't affect all of us. So it's in all of our best interests to come together and help solve this thing.
Can I help at all?
I think you've helped plenty already, and if there's anything that comes up that I feel requires your expertise, or at the very least your company, I will be happy to reach out to you.
Very well. And he gives you a very polite bow. He goes, "I should be heading home, so thank you for allowing me in your house so late, but..."
You're welcome anytime.
And he turns and he leaves your room. And then you have to go for a little bit, right?
I do, yeah. I just got the text message as we were wrapping that up. So,
All right, get on out of here.
We'll be back in like 15, 20 minutes.
Sure. And then I think we are going to hop on over to the Fitzgeralds for that dinner. We had left you guys and you were just walking into the dining room, which was laid out very lavishly. There's every food you could think of, various drinks, alcoholic, non-alcoholic. It's laid out in front of a roaring fire. Maddie, your house is not as big as like the Partington estate or the Sarveris estate, but it's nothing to sniff at. It's still quite refined, very, sizable. You have these very tall, beautiful windows that look out across the twilight landscape. You can see your family's garden out there, and everything. It's very beautiful, classy dining room. And yes, Lord Fitzgerald goes and takes his seat at the head of the table. And are you guys just sitting wherever you wish, or?
Was there like any assigned seating, like where we like showed to a specific seat, or is it just sit where you want?
I think there would be assigned seating. Probably Lord Fitzgerald would have you to his right and Priscilla Jackson to his left. And then probably have Maddie sat next to Priscilla and then Sonari sat next to Gaius. Am I missing anyone? I don't think so. I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that's everyone.
I think that's fine.
Even if it wasn't assigned seating, Maddie would have sat next to Priscilla anyway, just because, best friends, Mr. for a while. Mr. hadn't seen her for a while.
Alrighty, 1 second. Cool. All right, so you all sit down. Per just proper dining etiquette, you guys start out with a sort of bowl with which to wash your hands with, and Lord Fitzgerald turns to Priscilla and says, Priscilla, it's been much too long. I know that my dear Maddie has been missing you terribly. She tells me that you are very well off and your husband is treating you well, correct? And she goes, oh yes. And I'm not gonna lie, Cass, I forgot what we named her husband.
I was just now looking at my doc to see if I...
Was it like
Gerald?
Oh my god,
Gerald.
I was totally guessing Gerald. And she goes, oh yes, Gerald is a wonderful husband and a wonderful soon-to-be father. He is extremely excited about our little newcomer coming soon. And she pats her stomach. And Lord Fitzgerald goes, yes, he is quite the man of industry, last I heard. And I know he must be working hard to make sure that you are all provided for. I have to turn my D&D on because my friend is messaging me. 1 second. Go away. But yeah. Anything you guys are wanting to talk about?
How have the cravings been, Miss Jackson? When my father was pregnant with me, he kept craving these amazing spiced wyvern tail dumplings. He told me that and lotus root soup. It was a very weird combination.
He wanted them together.
I never actually asked him about that. I should ask. Though it wouldn't surprise me if I found out he'd been dipping them in the soup.
I don't think I've ever had that combination, but that sounds delicious. You said they're wyvern tail dumplings. Are they spicy?
Oh, extremely spicy. He gets this like pepper from all the way from Cholt, like the kind of like apparently if you eat it and you don't have like some sort of like normal resistance to like fire, it makes your entire body go numb for a week.
She goes, I have been craving peppers. And I feel mad for just waking up in the middle of the night and wanting a hot pepper, but those sound delicious. As you guys are talking, various butlers and servers take away the hand washing bowl and put out a very light soup in front of everyone. It's a lentil soup. And everybody kind of pulls out their spoons and starts to dig in. And Priscilla, ever the epitome of good manners, is taking very ladylike bites. But yeah, she seems intrigued by wyvern tail dumplings, and so am I. That sounds delicious.
Me last night going, what fucking fantasy creature would people eat?
You had me at spicy.
Yeah, I'll have to ask Gerald to see if he can pick me up some, because that sounds delicious. Where do you hail from?
Oh, I was born near the edges of Neverwinter. But I do have family here in Sargenty.
And what did you say your family name was?
Neverfell.
Neverfell. She goes, it's a good family. She goes, I don't think I've ever seen you at any parties or anything. Did you only just step out into society recently?
Very sort of recently. I am a distant cousin from Haisung. So I only just came around not long ago. Whole thing back at home. They want me to find a decent husband, and there isn't really many pickings over near the Neverfell that at least my family was satisfied with. So they sent me out to Sargenty to see if I could find myself someone more to their standards.
I know how that feels. Priscilla, met Sonari and Gaius at the Partington the Partington party, I guess. That didn't really feel like a party near the end, but at a Partington estate
It was a
not so long
it,
ago.
well, it was a party until the awful business of, murder happened.
She goes, I did hear about that. That sounds so awful. I'm sorry you had to witness that. I assume you did.
Yes, but it allowed us a chance of getting closer with the Partingtons, and I even made some friends. So
Yes, you're making all these new friends. I feel left out.
no, I don't. You're joking.
Don't worry, Miss Jackson. We could be great friends too. Like, just how
Yes.
me and Maddie are now friends.
She leans in.
Go ahead.
Sorry, she leans in closer to Priscilla. She's like, "You're still my best friend."
Well, I should hope so. She goes, it's just a shame that I live so far away. But I've made a pact with myself to make more visits to Sargenty, my home, to, remember my roots.
And I'll have to come visit you and Gerald and the little one more often as well.
While this conversation is going on, like under the table, Gaius is gonna pass Sonari a note.
Yep.
That just says play along.
Can I get a sleight of hand check?
Yup.
Can I roll as well to assist because I'm
how are you
receiving the
assisting?
note. I don't know, just maybe I just put, as I'm going to put my napkin in my lap, I just that's where I grab it.
Sure. Yeah, I do it with advantage.
Yep.
25.
Yeah. You pass that note along. Nobody notices. And Sonari, I guess you would read that pretty
clearly. Yep.
Yeah.
And then he's just gonna knock the soup spoon off the table. Oh, clumsy me. Apologies. And
a loud clatter as it lands off the table, hits the plate and lands on the ground.
And he leans down and he just he's gonna lean down and he picks up the spoon and when he does, he's gonna cast minor illusion on his soup.
Okay.
And as he sits back up, in clear view of everyone, a dead mouse is gonna float to the top of the soup.
And Sonari's gonna go.
And he and as he sits up, he's gonna jump back as he comes into view of it. He's gonna jump back with a mock look of shock on his face. Pardon me if I'm not accustomed to this dish, but is it customary for mice to be involved?
Lord Fitzgerald jumps up. He goes, "Oh, well, this is outrageous. I can't." And he snaps his fingers, and one of the staff come and quickly take the soup away. Gaius, if you look across the table, you see Priscilla looking at you with a very suspicious look. But she doesn't say anything, and Lord Fitzgerald is making such a his mustache is bouncing up everywhere. He says, "This is unacceptable. Find who made this soup and fire them immediately. No pay," and anything like that. And within 2 minutes, they bring out a fresh bowl of soup for you. He goes, "I am sorry, my Lord Tybalt. I promise you that is not the standard of care that our staff is accustomed to." And Priscilla goes, "Huh." Doesn't say anything else.
While the whole thing is happening, I just go, Maddie, where's your bathroom?
Down the hall, 2 doors to the left.
Thank you.
Do you need help? I'll go with you.
Yes, thank you. Do you mind just showing me where?
Lord Fitzgerald goes, "Madeline, You know it's very bad manners to leave your guests when you're a host.
I can.
That's why I'm going with her.
Leave your
To make
guests
sure
at the dinner table. We can bring one of our
She's
staff.
also a
I
guest.
can.
Sinari.
It's okay. I can show her the way I pegged the restroom when I came in.
No, Lord Tybalt, it's best if you stay here.
No,
This
no,
is
no.
women's matter.
I feel like it's probably best that I go as well to let's not get into too much detail, but to
I'm gonna.
vacate
And
the
I,
soup that I had.
I'm
eaten
just going to
previously.
very quickly just head for like force people to stop talking. Just like I need to go and just like head for the door.
Yeah, and he's gonna quickly follow.
I want deception check from Effie. You can do it with advantage because Gaius is helping you.
Yep. What'd you say, deception?
Deception.
Oh, I'm good at deception. You're not gonna believe it. The first roll was a 1, the second was a 20.
Nice.
So yeah, a 25.
Okay. Lord Fitzgerald is kind of looking overwhelmed from all of the protesting voices, and he kind of waves his hand at one of his staff and says, just go with her and him and make sure that they find their way safely there. And Maddie, give me an insight check.
Absolutely. I got an 8.
Okay. You don't notice anything.
Awesome.
Everybody seems to be all fine and dandy with this plan. So then Sinari and Gaius run out of here. All of a flutter, and it's just you, Lord Fitzgerald, and Priscilla.
Okay. I'm not sure if I trust the soup now.
Priscilla leans over, takes her spoon, and through your soup. She goes, I don't see a dead mouse.
If it all came from the same pot, then, there could be juices and the like.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe we ought to move on to the second course.
I think that would be a good idea.
And Lord Fitzgerald goes, I agree. And he goes, claps his hand, and they take away all of the soups. You can hear someone crying in the hallway. And then they bring out a nice chicken meal, a nice light lemony garlic chicken meal with a side of asparagus.
You're making me hungry.
Yeah, I like chicken. And yeah, and Lord Fitzgerald goes, as you can see, perfectly cooked, nothing untoward here, and he starts to dig in.
Mm-hmm.
And Priscilla goes, so how did you meet those two?
So after I met them at the party a little bit during dinner, and then afterwards we had to stay behind to talk to the police, and they separated us into groups. That night I stayed in the room with Sonari, and then I had some conversation with Gaius the next day. He's an author.
What does he write?
Adventure novels, mostly.
Has he been on adventures?
None that he's told me about, but I'll be sure to ask him where he gets his inspiration. But, I think he has a couple brothers that have their own adventures, so I'm sure that he must get inspiration from them.
Oh, that's why his name sounds familiar. The Tybalt, so Gaspard and Richter and Lionel.
Mm.
That's a good family. She goes, I don't really hear about him a whole lot.
Yeah, he doesn't really, he didn't before, he wasn't interested in the family business, and now he's gaining more interest to it, but he, as far as I know, he mostly performs music and writes books. And Corey, did you tell me that he's now part of the publishing company and everything like that?
Yeah,
Did I know about that?
he mentioned to both you and Sonari that he was given pretty much ownership of a new publishing company that his family had just created.
Actually, I don't believe he owns it. His family in general owns it, but he is free to publish his books there with certain caveats, and they get a cut of it for printing it.
No, but he's mentioned he owns it. It's
Okay,
his.
never mind. Yeah.
And he actually recently told me that he now owns his own publishing company with his family. So I think he might be steering more towards the novel aspect instead of performing. But you should really see him perform. He is exquisite.
I must say, and this is no anything on Mr. Tybalt and Miss Neverfell, but they definitely are very different people than who you normally hang out with or spend your time with.
Yeah, they're definitely a lot different than what I'm used to. But they're really nice people, honestly. Like, they welcomed me. And I mean, you know how hard it is to talk with talking with people, and they helped make me feel more at ease. And sometimes they even, if needed, they understand what I mean, and then they are able to form it into words properly.
And your father is kind of grumbling as he eats his chicken. He goes, well, they better hurry back soon so we can actually see that. It seems a bit rude to just leave a dinner in the middle, but, that's just my 2 cents. And Priscilla goes, I think you're being a little hard on them. I mean, if she's not feeling well, she's not feeling well, Mr. Fitzgerald.
Do you want, should I go and check? Just to see, because we've already made it to the next course. I just want to see if there's anything that they need.
No, that's very fine, my girl. We sent one of our servants with them. They should be here shortly.
How many courses is this dinner?
Man, probably like 7.
Oh, okay. I'll give them another course before I bring it up again.
We can jump to Sonari and Gaius. So you guys are running down the hallway. You have a servant following behind you, being like, "It's to the right. It's to the right."
I said it was to the left.
Sorry, it's to the left. It's to the left.
I thought they were like just.
She doesn't remember her own house. Yeah. So like as like they're running, Gaius is going to like catch up to Sonari. And with his use of Thieves' Cant, he's gonna, ask pretty much the equivalent of how much time you need. He's gonna, in passing, just say sands in the hourglass.
I'm going to say probably I'm probably going to say something along the lines of not even half an amount, which probably just advanced means half an hour.
Okay.
As you guys are doing this, I mean, that servant is still jogging behind you guys. He goes, "You're going the wrong way. It's down the hall to the left."
I am trying to follow him to the bathroom. I'm just like, we need to eventually just get rid of him.
Yep. Are there multiple bathrooms, or is it just one?
Probably in houses like these, there usually are multiple bathrooms, but it's considered polite to use the one indicated by your host, because having guests just go wherever they want, and peeing wherever they want, probably not really socially acceptable. So there is a guest bathroom that's specifically for guests.
So he's gonna just straighten himself out, take a deep breath, and compose himself as he's gonna let Sonari continue on, as he's going to turn and look at the usher who's like helping us get to, like, directing us. I think I'm okay. We can let Miss Sonari do what she needs to do. If you can show me back to the dining room.
He goes, begging your pardon, sir, but I can absolutely show you back to the dining room, but I can't just let guests run amok in Lord Fitzgerald's house.
You saw the look on her face. She is not going to be running anywhere.
Well, she didn't even run in the correct direction for the bathroom.
As far as I was concerned, I was running in the correct direction for the bathroom. I was just running further ahead.
Yeah. Are you going to the bathroom or are you just running?
I was heading in that direction because the plan was to like dip in there and then like sneak out afterwards.
Okay. If you want, you could say that you just go in there and you shut the door behind you.
Yeah. So I go in, I go in and shut the door behind me, and like, you know, and like have like I'll make sure they hear.
Give me a deception check with advantage.
Like, it's not gonna sound nice. With advantage, +5 is 19.
This guy has a very sensitive, like, response to gagging. He's like, he goes, perhaps you're right.
Yes, maybe we should go.
He's like bent over, like trying to cover his mouth. I'm so sorry, sir. This is so.
Oh
goes,
no!
I'm so sorry, sir.
No, it's quite understandable if you like.
He
You're
like
not
pushes
used
you
to
away.
it.
Goes, oh. Goes, please, sir, just go ahead of me. Okay, it's just I'm really bad when people are
to the right.
To the left, actually. If we're going to to the right. Yes, if we're going to the left. Yeah.
Thank you. And he's gonna double time step it so he's forced to follow faster as he makes his way back to the back to the dinner party.
I think at one point he does lean over a potted plant and pukes a little inside. He goes, I'm so sorry, sir. I'm not good.
It's understandable. It's like, no need to apologize. I won't speak a word to it. I almost called him Lord Partington. To Lord Fitzgerald.
He's silently weeping as he's puking into the potted plant. He goes, I'm so sorry, sir, but would you just rub my back?
And he does. He walks over and he like gives him like a comforting rub. Like, it's all right.
Again.
Oh, that usually makes me feel worse.
Just let it out.
Oh, he does.
Oh, please tell me that this is all happening at least like further away down the hall. Like I can hear them walking off.
They've turned a corner.
Yeah. So like after I've heard them walk off, I kind of just like peek out and I can just hear them. I'm just like, ugh, it sucks to be him. And just.
So you sneak out of the bathroom. And what are you doing?
Okay, so now it's time for me to figure out where the hell the office is, and this is where I kind of went. I really wish Maddie had been the one that followed me.
Maddie, would you have told her about where it is, or no?
Yeah, I would have told her the layout of, where it was, because I'm sure that she probably assumed that they would have had it be separated at some point.
Of course.
Sure.
And
then give me a history check, Denari.
Okay. What's my history?
See if you remember her instructions.
Okay. Can't be as bad as what's her name? Gertie.
Gertie? Do you mean Miriam?
That's the one. 14. I rolled low on history and IRL right now. But I've rolled 14 in the game.
You can recall that Maddie told you that it was up on the second floor, facing the west, because Lord Fitzgerald likes seeing the setting sun as he works.
Okay. All right.
And actually, I'm gonna take you guys to a fun little map. This isn't entirely accurate, but There we go. Whoa, it's
Ooh,
pretty. Yes.
I will bring chat to the map.
I'll put everybody in. Oh, it's just Maddie,
Because that's the dining. Got it.
Sonari, and Gaius. Well, Gaius is probably out in the hall. And then... Oopsie, my bee.
Malls, I'm not gonna lie, I was like looking at this map like during post show from like the site that you gave me, because I'm like, yo, this could work for something for Daggerheart too.
Mm-hmm.
Like that site you gave me is like awesome for maps.
Yeah. You're welcome. That's really not good for my migraine.
Right?
No.
I was gonna say your head's gonna be throbbing after that.
Cool. So you're heading up towards the second floor that I'm imagining, and you easily find it. It's the westmost room. And as it's a bit like kind of like twilight, like what I described earlier, the sun is already set, so it's starting to get a bit dark in his office, but you do make your way there. What are you doing once you get in there?
I'm just like, oh, it's getting dark. Thank God I'm a tiefling and I have dark vision.
Yeah. I mean, the hallways are kind of lined with like, you know, lights and whatnot, but still a little bit gloomy.
All right, so I open up the door, I sneak in, I look around, and I just go, ugh, ostentatious. I don't even know what it looks like, but I can just tell with a man with a mustache like that, it's gonna be ostentatious.
Lord Fitzgerald is a very avid hunter, so it does have various taxidermied like stuffed heads and animals here and there hanging on the walls, but otherwise it's a very warm room. He has sort of a green rug with his desk placed at the end of it, which leads up to this enormous window where he can see the length of his estate. There is a fireplace that was previously lit, but you can still see there are some glowing embers that are going cold. There are floor to ceiling sort of bookshelves. There is a small bar cart there with various whiskeys and alcoholic liquors and whatnot. And there is a very fine walnut desk at the very end of the room with various drawers, and there is kind of a mess of paperwork on top of it. He's not the most organized guy, but otherwise, I mean, yeah, I guess it's a little ostentatious, but I would work in a room like that. Whatever.
I just go, oh, this organized ones, that's fantastic. I don't have to care about where it all goes back to. So I'm gonna start like going. I'm gonna go through the desk and see if I can find anything that has mentions the name of Nightwing.
Sure.
Mentions mentions of Nightwing, mentions the forest, or mentions the Winaris family.
Sure. Give me an investigation check.
Yes, nat 20.
Wow. What does that bring you to?
That brings me to. Pop up. Investigation. It's 21.
Okay. As you're shuffling through this paper, dude's messy. He's got lists of various imports. He's got some contracts that need a signature. He's got various correspondence from friends and businesses and whatnot. But somehow your little thief fingers manage to shuffle through it, and you find reports and kind of buried underneath a lot of the other ones. It lists out exactly what the Fitzgerald family is sort of importing from the forest. The number, like how many, how much manpower that takes. And it also brings into account like how much tea they're bringing in, how much other things they're bringing in, but specifically there is one about Nightwing. And it's as recent as last week. You look at the date, it's as recent as last week. and anywhere between 20 to 30 crates of the stuff, all properly sealed. You also see that there is a attached agreement on there between the Fitzgeralds and the Waranarises for protection and agreement of safe transport to their various drop-off points. There is a factory that the Fitzgerald kind of oversee where these are brought to, but then there are like, it's like kind of a list of various drop-off points that the Waranarises work with, and the Fitzgerald's family just lists theirs as their factory. There's also, with a 21, I would say you get all of that information. And as you're looking at this sort of report, there's like a weird smudged black smear or something on the bottom. It seems to have been stamped when it was very fresh and someone didn't wait for it to dry. But you kind of file that away in the back of your head. As you're also going through the desk, I'm assuming you're pulling out drawers and whatnot, kind of looking in there. You're clever enough to know that not everything is just hidden away in a drawer. So you're kind of running your fingers underneath, kind of going
Where are these? Yeah, where are these false bottoms? Come on,
You're running your finger very gently underneath, like looking for any false drawer floor, like bottoms or anything, and you run your finger underneath the desk and you feel a sort of groove, and as you press your finger on it, it clicks.
Yes, I love this shit.
And you hear a sort of like a shift in the desk, and where his knees would go under the desk, something drops down from underneath that table part, and you go reach for it.
I'm not gonna I'm just gonna take a look first, see what it is, because sometimes these things have magical traps, and I'm not going to do something stupid like just put my hand in and get my hand burnt because
If you want, you can give me a perception check to see if there are traps or anything.
Yeah. Ooh, okay, so what was my perception? Perception is a +1. 15.
15 is easy. You see there's no traps on here. Clearly, whoever set up this desk seemed to think that it was hidden well enough that there wouldn't be a need for it. So if you wanted, you could pull out this document to inspect it better.
Yes, I'll definitely pull it out.
All right. As you do, you see that it's another contract. And normally, like legalese and business talk like this just kind of makes your brain turn to like static, like you're like whatever, but you seem to like focus in here, and you see that it's an agreement between Lord Fitzgerald and some unnamed party that seems to have been kind of blacked out for the safe and prompt transport of various goods from the forest, but namely Nightwing. In return, the Fitzgeralds will be given leeway and means to venture into the forest for any goods of their own if they wish, like tea leaves, for example, if that's where they wish for their business kind of veer into. In return for the freedom of gathering whatever they wish, the benefactor, whoever this person is, takes 10% of their profits and the promise of like discretion. Not going to be talking about this with just anybody. But then you notice at the very bottom, there's another stamp that looks like a more clear version of that really smeared one you had seen earlier on the other reports. And you can see clearly from just the angle that you're at right now, it looks like some sort of a black sun. But if you turn it kind of upside down, it could also look kind of like some kind of grasping hand. But the sun hand stamp is a lot clearer on this contract here, this hidden one, than it was on the report. It just seems to have gotten smeared on the other one, but that is what you find there.
Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, this is all good stuff." So I'm gonna take the report that I found that has the Waranarises. I'm gonna take the contract. I'm going to click the drawer back into place, so that doesn't look disturbed. and I'm going to very gently like fold the stuff up and like find a pocket in my corset and like, you know, slip it on there. So it's just like gonna be like sort of flat against my thing. So if anyone tries to search me, like, you know, they'd have to be feeling that pretty freaking close.
Yeah,
And then just
for sure.
Yeah. And then I'm just gonna go, and also just to be safe, these kind of fuckers like to burn shit in their fireplaces for dramatics and stuff. So I'm just gonna go like over there with the fire poker and just like step far enough back so I was like, I'm not gonna get soot on my dress. But I'm just gonna start like poking through things, just like maybe there's something in here.
Can you give me another investigation check?
Yeah. Oh, not as good, only a 13.
That's fine. As you are poking around in the embers, you see the edge of a letter. It's very burnt, but you can see that it's addressed to Lord Fitzgerald, and it has the word daughter on it. And it's of this kind of very light, papery red parchment. You don't really see parchment like that. You can't, I would say with a 13, you can't really make out much else as it's been smoldering a little bit. But it seems to be talking to Lord Fitzgerald about Maddie, because he's only got the one daughter.
Now I'm just gonna be like, fascinating. What are you up to? What are you up to, mustache man? Alright, so I'm just gonna like put the
He
fire
has a
poker.
name. I don't know what his first name is, but he's got one.
Sayonara doesn't care.
William.
William.
If she doesn't respect them enough, she just gives them their own names in their head. So he's
Oh,
mustache
wow.
man.
That's fine. Yeah. So what are you doing next?
Okay, so I found the paperwork I need. I've taken a look through there. I now just kind of take a look and go, does he have any fancy ballpoint pens on his desk?
Of course.
I yoink one.
You yoink a pen. It's very well crafted. It's got a gold point for like an ink nub, and it's very heavy in your hand. Very.
Is it the only one on his desk, or is it like one?
No, there's a bunch. There's a bunch.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna take one and just like slip it into like, you know, my my like little pouch thing that I have hidden, and then it's gonna. All right, I'm just gonna go. Right, time to sneak back to the bathroom.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure I got that in less time than I thought. Fantastic.
Yeah, you could probably make the third course if you wanted.
And now I'm gonna sneak back to the bathroom first because I want people to find me there.
Okay. I think probably. Ooh. Yeah, like literally 30 seconds after you pull the bathroom door behind you, you hear like a knock, and they go, "Miss Neverfell, are you all right in there? The Lord Fitzgerald wanted me to check on you."
Give me 1 second. I'm almost there. Oh.
He goes, "Oh no, not again." I'm sorry. I had hoped it had stopped by now, but I'm sorry, my lady. I'll be just down the hall if you need me.
I'll be right now. Hold on, sorry. And I'm just like,
You hear him go like, "I hate this job."
And I'm just thinking, they didn't have. Did they have a tap's a thing? What? What about
like the horn song?
No, for a sink.
Oh yeah, they got a sink.
No, just like, you know, turn on the tap, run the water, and just be like, you know, make it sound like I'm washing up. And then just like,
you meant, like you expected him to like do as you come out. Like, no, man, you're just puking. It's not a big deal.
No, I just wanted to make it sound like I'm actually like, you know, I'm giving reason, and then I walk back out and head back to him.
You pass a butler looking very green. He goes, "Are you feeling better, Miss Neverfell?"
I am. I do apologize for that. I just have a very weak stomach, unfortunately, especially with grisly things like death and all that kind of thing. So, shall we get going, sir?
He goes, yes, you go on ahead and I'll make sure you get there safely.
No problem. And I start walking.
Okay. As we head back to the banquet hall, what all has been transpiring?
I think like Gaius quickly comes back into the banquet hall as to like not raise suspicion. So probably like almost like probably like 10 minutes after the second course has been laid out, I think he rejoins the party.
And you're with that butler who's looking
Yes.
very ill. He
Yes.
goes, and he just kind of escorts you to the door and then stands in the corner like you can
Are
see
you
he's like
Trying to recompose.
yeah, he's swallowing hard, like when your mouth fills with spit and it tastes
Oh.
like pennies. He's like,
Are you alright? Are you alright?
Are you-
I ask that. I'm not asking you guys.
Okay,
I'm
that's what I was asking.
The butler or the. Are you alright? You look a bit green.
he fully looks at Gaius thinking that you were talking to Gaius and he doesn't realize you were talking to him. He goes, oh yes, my lady, I apologize. And he turns and faces the wall. And your father goes like, it's probably for the best so he doesn't turn us off of our dinner.
If you want to go back to the kitchen and get a glass of water, I think that would be best.
He doesn't answer, he just leaves.
Good. I feel bad.
Good man, that one.
How is Sonari doing?
Poor girl is having it tear through her right now, but both you and I know she'll be back on her feet as soon as she can, right as rain.
Her and her weak stomach.
Yeah,
No.
like with the amount that we've seen her drink before, you think that the constitution would be a little bit higher, but
Alcohol is different than rats, though.
I was under, Priscilla speaks up, she goes, I was under the impression that your soup turned her off her food and made her ill. She's looking right at you.
True, but I've also seen what she drinks. Also, it was also it wasn't a rat, just a mouse. I don't think that it got into the pot. I think it may have just like slipped into my bowl as it was being served.
How could you tell that?
I've seen many rats and mice in my travels. That was just a little field mouse.
But I mean, how could you tell that it just jumped into your bowl?
A guess.
What were you saying, Maddie?
I said we'll have to make sure that there's no mice hidden in the walls. I doubt it, but hopefully that one just came in from the outside.
It was likely it came in from the outside, probably followed one of us in when we arrived.
I wonder if they fixed the crack under. They fixed the crack in my window. Under the door.
It may have hitched a ride with me. I did visit my brother at the docks this afternoon.
How is he?
Oh, the dashing naval hero that he is. Just pulled in for supplies and is sitting back out. Well, probably already set out by the time we sat down for dinner.
I was just telling Priscilla about your books, your adventure books, and how now you have a publishing company, right?
Yes, that was dropped on me today. I went to pay my parents a visit. Mother did say father wanted to speak to me so decided to swallow the pride and go speak to the old man. And he dropped a publishing company on my lap.
That is very impressive, and you so young.
Yes, and I know my parents are concerned with my quote-unquote rambunctious lifestyle, as they call it. So I decided, why not? Let's put a little ease on my mother's worries.
But your family takes a cut of that, right? Do you just get to write whatever you wish?
As long as it doesn't fall into what my father describes as smut.
Lord Fitzgerald spits out his chicken. He goes, "Oh my!" He goes, "Please, sir, there are ladies present."
I didn't go into details. I just was, describing the limitations as to what my father requested. I don't think he realizes that I don't write smut.
You can see that Lord Fitzgerald doesn't want to be here anymore. He goes, "Let's change the subject, perhaps." He goes, "Your brothers, tell me about them, please."
Well, Gaspard, the one that I was speaking of previously, is a captain in the Navy. Very highly regarded by his men and his superiors. Richter is my eldest brother, a bit of a stick in the mud. He's planning on taking over the family business once my father decides to retire. And Lionel, you probably know Lionel out of all of them, as he is the holy boy. The four of us. A bastion of, well, he's perfect. You can't
But Lord
go.
Fitzgerald goes, "It's nice to know that there are still some men out there with some semblance of virtue, I suppose. Although I wish they wouldn't just shove it in our face any chance they get."
Well, my brother does not do that. My brother is a bastion for this community. Right now, he is helping tend to those who are stricken by the plague. My brother and I may not see eye to eye at times due to our difference in lifestyles, but he is the best of us.
Of course, I more have my dealings with Father Valentine when we would go to service, back when the church was more open. He was very, oh, what's the word? You're the writer. Kind of thinks he's better than everyone, with his religion. Sanctimonious. He was a bit sanctimonious, Father Valentine, but he was the best predecessor for the Archbishop before he passed, so...
When you see what they see on a daily basis, it's kind of hard not to be sanctimonious.
No, I meant before the plague.
Oh, so do I. The things that they see on a daily basis, far be it for me to judge anybody, but the sins that they hear about and the condition of the city and its peoples, it's hard not to have a sanctimonious attitude.
Priscilla pipes up, she goes, "Do you go to church very often?"
The church and I don't agree, but at the same time, I still hold my own beliefs. And that my brother is there, I tend not to try to strike down what those in the church do.
Well, that's very big of you. Most churches wouldn't let someone participate in their... Oh, how do I say this? Someone who partakes in a lifestyle like that. I know that some churches would be a bit more strict about who they let through their doors.
My rambunctious lifestyle has gotten me quite a talking to from my brother anytime he has a chance to have my ear, but he's always been chastising me, so it's just a bit of fun between us. I can't make his life too easy.
I think at that point the butler who was sick comes back in looking a little better, and Lord Fitzgerald says, like, "Why don't you go check on Miss Neverfell, see when she's coming back?" He goes like, "Okay, Of course, sir. And he walks back out looking greener. And he probably goes down the hall to check on Sonari. But I think at that point, probably the third course is coming out. It's a very light salad, kind of breaking up between, the chicken meal and going into kind of like a palate cleanser. And it's laid out in front of everyone, and your dirty plates are taken away. Lord Fitzgerald speaks up. He goes, "I hear your brother in the Navy. He's gone quite often, isn't he?"
It is unfortunate, but the Navy does have a very long and robust schedule. Many pirates to face, many sea routes to secure.
So how does your family make a business out of the Navy? Like, what do they do? How do they partake?
Well, if you are to believe the rumors, my family is the Navy. We have a very long-standing naval tradition and supply them with ships, weapons, cannons. Nothing goes out, as it says, nothing goes out to sea without a Tybalt handed.
So, and Priscilla speaks up. She goes, "Excuse me, I don't have much of a business head, but do you deal in imports, exports? How does one make money off of the defense of a nation?"
Oh, imports, exports. You must forgive me. I don't really have much of a business sense for my family as well. I'm kind of the black sheep. Fourth child being and all, I was left to my own whims, but as far as I understand, we do a bit of importing and do a bit of exporting, but most of the money that my family gains is from the armament of the city.
Lord Fitzgerald takes a sip of his wine and he goes, "I'm always of the mind that no matter how boring it is, one should absolutely know how their family goes about their business, for you never know, one day it could just get taken right out from underneath you. And that's a scary thought."
Is it?
If you're focusing on the security and well-being of your family, to have all of that go away, it's not just you anymore, is it?
No,
You have to allow those to look out for.
In my experience, you don't need money to look out for those you care for.
It's good to make sure that they are secure and happy and want for nothing, though. I'd like to think that my dear daughter, she's had a relatively happy childhood.
Not everybody has that ability, though. And yet, I still see people in the city who are happy. I still see happy children, even though their families aren't the best off. Money doesn't make you happy. Money doesn't give you security.
I think you're misunderstanding me, Mr. Tybalt, and pardon me, but I'm not really in the mood for a lecture. All I'm saying is that if you have grown up to a specific standard and to have all of that taken away, that is more of an upset than being without your entire life. So it's good to know exactly how things work around in your family so you're prepared in case that ever happens. You can bounce back.
I think all of us could do with a little bit of learning how it is to have the floor drop underneath.
He just looks at you.
So, how many more? We have 4 more courses, right?
If you're all done with your salad, my dear, I could definitely call around the next course. And he kind of waves. I think it's gonna be on 5.
Okay. I hope we have the chocolate cake at the end. That is always my favorite.
We absolutely do. Anything for my girl.
Priscilla, how long is your visit? Are you staying the night?
Well, myself and Gerald are in town for actually business discussions with your father. And Gerald, he's wanting to take the next step to kind of grow his business a bit, and your father was kind enough to want to assist him. What with baby on the way, we need to make sure we're doing as well as we can.
And that's great. That means visiting more often will definitely get a lot easier. Since he'll probably have to come and visit for work anyway. It was probably my job to decide what he does for work, but I don't know. Oh, and you never answered the cravings question.
Oh, I said a hot pepper every now and then.
Oh,
Just
hot
biting
pepper,
into
yes.
like a chili. It just seems to wake me up a bit more, because I will tell you, not to go into too much detail, but when you're pregnant, you get tired so easily.
Mhm.
You know, you and I used to run around, play pirates and spies and everything, and now I can barely. Sometimes I need a nap in the middle of the day.
Well, it takes a lot of energy to grow another person, so I would assume yes. I forgot what I was gonna say.
She goes, I wanted to wait to tell you this, but when we found out we were having a girl, I wanted to speak with you and see if it was all right with you if we named her Madeline.
Oh.
That's and she's like tearing up, and she's like,
And Lord
Thank
Fitzgerald
gives her a hug.
leans over and pats Priscilla's hand. She goes, I think she's all right with that.
Yes, that I think that would suffice. And she's like trying to be like, I think that would suffice, but like clearly like I'm I was hoping that I could talk with you more after dinner, you know, catch up and everything. Just us.
Oh, of course. And I think at that point, the fifth course has already been laid out. It's sort of like a couple cuts of like a pork, and it's got like a sort of a wine berry sort of sauce over it and a side of mashed potatoes. It's very good food, and I am getting hungry.
Yeah, I need lunch.
Yeah, and as you guys are eating, I think at that point probably the butler comes back in looking very ill and trailing behind Sonari.
Sorry that I'm so sorry about that. Oh, that was so embarrassing. Oh, I can't believe I missed out on the rest of the dinner. Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's all right.
And
Well, we have you just made it to one of my favorite meals anyway. You know, it's pork with mashed potatoes and a berry wine reduction. It's really good.
Fantastic.
And hopefully will be
sounds
lighter on your
delicious.
stomach.
Oh, I hope so. Mashed potatoes is definitely one of my preferred meals. And it's nice to have a version that isn't covered in chili pepper spice. Don't get me wrong, I do love that, but Baba puts spice on everything.
So who, and Priscilla speaks up, she goes, who is your father? Will I have heard of him?
Oh, unlikely. I'm from a very distant branch of the Neverfell family. But he is a blacksmith by trade.
A blacksmith?
Yeah. His mother was from the Neverfell family. She was kind of a big deal when she married out. He ended up he took her name because they didn't get along with the father. It's a whole thing. But like when he did such good jobs over in Neverwinter that when he reconnected with his cousin, like, you know, ended up being very fortuitous for my own family, and they wanted me to like reconnect, you know, on that side.
She goes, well, what do you like to do in your spare time, Miss Sonari?
Oh, I'm very much a reader. I enjoy lots of poetry, and I occasionally like to dabble in some knitting and cross stitching, you know, that sort of thing.
I want a deception check. Does Sonari know how to read? Just kidding.
She does know. She does know how to read. She just like it's unless it's like something that's interesting to her, she doesn't care. It's 17, no 18, and plus 5 in perception.
Priscilla says, "It sounds like you're a very well-to-do young lady. I'm sure you'll have no trouble at all finding a husband out here in Sargenty."
Do you really think so? That would. Oh, that'd be.
There are so many eligible men here. You have Lord Partington, you have the younger brother of the Tufts, the Howards. I mean, your brother, Madeline, was a good eligible sort before, you know. But otherwise, yeah, I mean,
It's a shame that
even
you
Mr. Tybalt here has himself a very good, a lot to offer, and so do his brothers and whatnot. I mean, you're pretty much spoiled.
It's such a wide variety of choices. Perhaps you could introduce me to your brothers next time, Mr. Tybalt.
No, yeah, it's like with me and my brothers, it's a wide variety. I mean, he may be a good match for Richter.
Did you say that he was the one who was a bit of a stick in the mud?
Yes, he could use a little liveliness in his life.
I don't mind getting my hands a little bit dirty.
What does that mean?
Well, if they're a bit of a stick in the mud, sometimes you gotta try and do things a little bit differently.
Gotta fish them out.
I mean, unless you want the dashing C type, and then I can introduce you to Gaspard.
Who doesn't?
Oh, I've never actually been on a boat before, and if with my weak stomach, I don't know how I would handle any motion sickness. Not very attractive look, I'm afraid.
I don't know. I think you would be quite taken with him.
And I think at that point they clear away the plates for the 5th course, and they are going into a sort of like, it's like a very light pistachio, sort of light ice cream, sort of a palate cleanser before dessert. And it's like this big, and it's ridiculous, the portions they always lay out at fancy things, because it's like a tiny little, and then that's it. But yeah. And as go ahead.
Sonari, you can see like the Sonari looks at it like anyone who like knows, I can see the way that her eyebrow twitches and just like this is it, that's it. When she's like, keep it together.
But there's 7 courses.
And he goes, "I'm sorry you were not feeling very well, Miss Neverfell. You really did miss out on a wonderful chicken course at the beginning there, but if you like, I could send you home with some."
That would be amazing. I've heard such wonderful things about the chicken here. Maddie has told us wonderful things about the food. Oh, I've been so looking forward to it. It was so unfortunate.
Maddie, I didn't even know you liked the chicken all that much. This is wonderful news. I've been telling everybody I know about our chicken, and it's nice to know you're finally on board, my dear.
Is it? I need to ask though. Is this like a decent chicken, like that's probably spiced or something, or is this like white people chicken, like it was boiled and that's it?
Oh,
maybe a flick of salt. If you're trying to get crazy.
I think it's actually very well made. It's got flavor to it. It's a nice crisp outside, with a lemon garlicky sort of crust there, and it's served with like rosemary, asparagus, and whatnot. It's nice.
Proper chicken, right? Good.
Yeah. Sorry. I think after that tiny little pistachio ice cream is taken away, you have your chocolate cake out in front of you, Maddie. Very rich, nice big slices. And by that time, I think everybody's kind of winding down because that is a lot of food.
Everyone else is like looking as pregnant as Priscilla, and I'm just like, I'm starving.
Anything else you guys are wanting to do before the night winds down?
I
did
just
want
admire
to.
eating my cake.
I did want to speak with Priscilla after dinner. So that's pretty much all I want to do that night. Besides, like, talking with Sonari and guys about how the dinner went and everything.
And your father goes, I forgot to mention, my dear, that Priscilla will be staying with us while her husband conducts his business and we talk. And I assist him here, so she may have to share a room with you if that's all right.
I wouldn't have expected anything else, you know? It wouldn't be the first time that we shared a room.
No, it'll be just like when we were kids.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited.
Me too.
And then he goes, and what of the rest of the night for you, Lord Tybalt and Miss Neverfell?
I was expected to go back home. I have a tea party early in the morning, and I need to get myself my beauty sleep. And it's like, oh, surely you know how it is being married, Lord Fitzgerald. It's like a 20-step process to get ready for bed. I've got to do the skin routine, and I've got to make sure that my hair is washed. And oh my gosh, getting the hair washed is a nightmare. And remember, tonight's got really short hair, so she's just like.
I think Lord Fitzgerald looks very overwhelmed. He goes, oh, well, it seems to be paying enormous dividends, Miss Neverfell. He's confused by all these womanly things.
And I just go, oh, you're too kind, Lord Fitzgerald. How sweet of you. And just so I can, I'm just trying to see if I can get him to go, oh, shameless or something.
Oh my. No, I think he's clueless enough to be like, she just seems like a very friendly young girl. I'm sure she'll have no trouble at all finding a husband. Alright. And you, Mr. Tybalt?
I think after this, I'm going to take just a bit of a walk through the town, maybe stop by the Cat's Paw.
The Rabbit's Foot?
The Rabbit's Foot. Why do I keep calling it the Cat's Paw?
I don't know. It sounds like you hate the name the Rabbit's Foot.
It always pops into my head as the Cat's Paw. But yes, the Rabbit's Foot.
The Rabbit's Foot. He goes, oh yes, never been to that establishment. He takes a small bite of cake.
Oh, you should. It's a wonderful place. I perform there quite regularly.
He's drinking his wine to avoid answering you. He's just like,
Everybody should go at least once.
I think at that point, they clear out your plates and Lord Fitzgerald goes, well, the hour is getting a bit late, so I must unfortunately retire to my study. I have many businesses to attend to, but we'll be seeing your husband, Gerard, quite early in the morning, Miss Jackson. And Mr. Tybalt, he holds out his hand to shake. He goes, it was very nice meeting you.
He takes his hand. It was a pleasure to meet you too, sir.
And yeah, he gives everybody a bow and retires for the night, and everybody's free to do whatever they like. However, we are going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back. And actually, we're going to come back and see what Reggie's up to. But thanks for your patience. You're the best.
Hey, I'm just here.
We'll be back in like 10 minutes. Bye.
Okay. And we are back.
I don't know if everybody else is back, but there was a big old raid that came through from Lord Gasumba, so thank you for that.
Lord Gasumba, thank you for that raid.
Very nice of you. Okay, we're back. For those who are just joining, this is the Downfall of Propriety. It's a campaign I wrote that is Regency Era. It's a murder mystery, and our players here are trying to solve it, and it's proving to be a little more tangled than what they had originally thought, which I like. So they had just come back from a very tense dinner at the Fitzgerald's estate, and everybody's just excuse themselves for the night. And before we head back to there, we are going to jump over to Reginald, who is our member of the Wings, which is the sort of militia of the city of Sargenty, and you are on patrol through the city, I believe. How's Reggie feeling?
Reggie is probably stressing out a little too much over all the information that's kind of gone over to him in the last couple days. So he's enjoying the brisk night air, so to speak. The evening is probably good for him to just get some fresh air and just kind of look around, make sure everything is copacetic as far as the normal day-to-day. He would be taking a round through the lower edge first before around the upper crust.
Is there anything like in particular you're looking for? Anybody you're wishing to speak to as you kind of make your rounds through the lower edge?
Most of his current known associates are out and about doing their own thing, so he's more so just kind of listening into any kind of gossip that may be happening as he goes through the streets, trying to get more intel on any other issues that could be handled by other parties.
Okay, can you give me like a perception check as you go about?
Decent. All right. 7.
Yeah. Okay. I think Reggie is feeling just a little overwhelmed from all of the stuff that's happened over the past week. You witnessed a murder, the murderers, the murdered guy's family enlists you for help. The murderer was framed, and there's some other dude, and you meet these new people. Your mind's a little scattered as you walk through. I think maybe you're not as alert as you normally are. But as you walk through, it's starting to kind of dip into twilight. The street lights are turning on, kind of casting a nice warm glow over everything. And I would say with a 7, you don't really see a whole lot. But
one of my few rare bad rolls.
I know. I think as you're walking through, you do feel like a small tap on your arm. And
shake his head.
As you look down, you recognize this person. Red hair, freckles, smaller in stature. This is Florence, who is the Partington Estates sort of Lady Adira's lady in waiting. Then she goes, Mr. Thornpoint.
Oh, how are you today this evening?
I'm doing all right. I didn't expect to see you out here so late.
Oh, just performing a normal patrol this once. Is there something I can help you with?
No, I just saw you and I wanted to say hello. I am just on my way to... She kind of looks a little like, she goes, I know it's probably not considered very cool, so to speak, to be religious in a way, but there is, since the church is quarantined, there has been small sort of impromptu masses being put on just so we can gather together and worship, and I've just been attending those. But yeah, I saw you and I wanted to say hello. How is everything going for you? You look well.
If it were only so, I am honestly a bit distracted. With everything that's gone on in the last few days, it's kind of hard to put it all together. But I am hopeful, at the very least, that things will work out.
Because if it's not too forward to say, I know that the Partington family is very grateful for your assistance with everything.
As has been made known to me. And I, in part, am also grateful for their willingness to reach out for said help. So, would you like me to join you at the worship house? Worship gathering?
If you wish. Are you... She kind of...
kind of look around, is like, I'm honestly not seeing too much troublemaking going on, so maybe no bother.
Well, a lady shouldn't ever walk alone at night, so I would appreciate it. She kind of pulls her hood up around her face a little more. Give me an insight check if you like.
Okay. This is much better. It's going to be a total of 18.
Florence, well, she's a very pretty girl. She's not looking very good. She's got darker circles under her eyes. It almost looks as if she's kind of lost weight since you last saw her. Her skin's gone a bit paler than normal.
Okay. So, knowing how we've gone to the actual, like, outer circle around the Church of the Lady, would she be showing signs of fatigue like that? Like, that's like, is she coughing at all?
She hasn't coughed yet. But the initial symptoms are so vague, they start out so simple, it's easy for people to miss. That's what, Gaius's brother said, that's what the doctor has also said. Everybody, essentially, that it starts off so innocuous that by the time it progresses to the second stage, you're like, oh shit, this is worse than I feared. So it could just be simple fatigue. It could be the plague.
Yeah. With knowing certain things from the group, he will ask Florence, have you, with all of your busyness with Lady Yadira, have you been getting much rest as well? I noticed that you've been working around the clock.
Well, my lady rarely sleeps, and so I don't sleep very much. But it's important to me to be of service to her. We've always been kind of a pair.
You've been a very diligent worker, I can say that much. I am, however, a little concerned. Have you considered going to see a nurse or a doctor, a healer? You're looking a little flush.
She goes, well, I don't really have the time for that. Unfortunately, like what with the funeral tomorrow and everything else my lady requires of me, I figure I would just go see Dr. Gustford after everything has died down. So not tomorrow, but after tomorrow. See if I could get something to help raise my spirits a bit. It's been very sad in the house since Lord Rasmus died. He was very much a light.
Okay. So Reginald, being as scattered as he is, can still see someone struggling. It's like, I think you have the time now. I think we can go ahead and meet with Dr. Gusford now, if you wouldn't mind.
She goes, with all due respect, sir, I don't have a lot of time for myself, and when I do, I like to spend it in a way that makes me happy, and this is the only time I really have for worship. I promise, if it'll make you feel better, I will go immediately after the funeral tomorrow.
I think it may need to be sooner than that, actually. Just from what I'm actually seeing. I do apologize for being so forward about it, but with everything else going on here, I do urge a little more expediency on recovery, because everyone needs to be able to take care of themselves before they can take care of others.
She goes, well, I've been dealing with this sort of fatigue for about a week or so. She goes, I apologize, but I really must be getting to my engagement. I'm expected there.
Well,
you can give me a persuasion check if you wanted.
Yeah.
I would also say, just what time is it? It's starting to get kind of late in the evening. I think you would probably know that just with Dr. Gusford. Oh, what's up?
Natural 20.
Nice.
Persuasion for an even 20.
Understood. But I would also say, like, it's later in the evening. Probably the doctor's office isn't technically open.
Right.
Because she's just one woman.
Well.
She goes, well, if you really think it's that serious, I could write to her tonight and ask to see her tomorrow. I think she might have, I mean, she has office hours.
Very well. If it's not too much of a bother, I could accompany you to the worship, and then I could escort you back to the estate, and then maybe afterwards, after getting some rest, some proper rest, if it's looking like you're not recovering from the fatigue, immediately to Miss Gusford.
Very well. And she falls into step beside you, and you guys head towards a little corner of the lower edge that is... It sticks out in a positive way, as the rest of the city, it's not as clean cut and polished and everything as the upper crust, but it looks like someone has put a lot of care into this corner of the lower edge. There is a small garden in there, and it's sort of a garden run by the church, sort of like taken care of, and everything by the church, and volunteers are welcome to help out there. Some people just like to garden to take their mind off of things, and this has been kind of an open spot for people to get together for mass or worship when the church is currently in quarantine and no one's allowed to go in. So this is where they're kind of impromptu meeting. And as you kind of enter into this garden, it's a warm night. It's very lovely. They've managed to kind of put together candles and whatnot to light up the space a bit. Flowers are blooming. It smells very sweet. And you see there's several people sitting there. Some old, some young. And at the head, there is a tall tiefling man. He has a mask over his face, just kind of covering his mouth. But you can see by his eyes, his hair, his horns, color of his kind of reddish skin, is that you've seen this man before. But it was at the Partington Ball, the night of Lord Rasmus's death. This is Father Valentine that everybody kind of speaks of. Give me a perception check.
Okay. Okay, that's not bad. 17.
You would see that he is speaking. It seems that since she got caught up with you, they've already started, and so she kind of sits in the back row. And it looks like the people, you can't really tell because their backs are to you because you're at the back row. But the people who are here are looking very weary, very exhausted, sad. But you can tell that as Father Valentine speaking, they sort of sit up a bit straighter. And he has a very strong voice that carries across the garden, kind of a baritone. And he speaks very fervently of Lady Laridia's love and her light, letting it fill your heart and going about your day in service to her and in service to others. And are you staying for the whole service, or are you just making sure she gets there safe?
I'm staying for the whole service because if she's there, I'm there.
Okay. So Father Valentine does not miss you guys coming in. You can see his eyes kind of crinkle, like with friendliness behind his mask. But he keeps speaking. And I would say that this service goes on for about 45 minutes just because it's not like it's more of just to come together and worship, and just bring some peace to people who are going through hard times and rely on that religious sort of aspect of their life. And then at one point they come together and they have small glasses of like non-alcoholic honeyed mead. And kind of just, it's considered supposed to be like a bountiful blessing from Lady Laridia to eat well, drink well, live in her light and whatnot, and everybody's allowed to go up and have some if they wish. Florence gets up to take some, and there's like a small procession up to the front.
Reginald will also partake and just kind of cheers with everyone that he gets to drink with, and then takes the shot and rejoins Florence. And then if there is a moment,
can you quick?
Can
you give me, before you head up to the procession, can you give me a perception check?
Oh, okay. 19.
Okay. I would say you don't notice anything.
There you go. If there's a moment, he would try to have a small word with Valentine. Excuse me. Thank you for hosting this tonight.
This is after service?
After service, yeah.
Okay. He goes, my son, I saw you come in. It's always very nice to see new followers to our flock, so to speak. Because have you always kind of had this light in your heart?
I think I had the lights. I just did not understand what it was. I've always tried to do right by others.
As well, you are most welcome, my son. Lady Laridia, her heart is open to all. he goes, I understand you're a wing. You must be very busy lately. What with the unfortunate events at Partington Estate and everything in the lower edge. I just want to say I appreciate your efforts. You're all working very hard.
It is appreciated and by no means a bother. We are here to try and put everyone at ease. And I just happened to run across Miss Florence earlier and decided to escort her here.
That was very chivalrous of you. I'm not so old-fashioned to think that a woman couldn't take care of herself, but even so, at night, what with all the happenings, it's nice to have someone alongside you. That was very kind of you, sir.
I try to do what I can. I did have a couple questions, if you have the time.
He goes, let me just bid farewell to my parishioners, and then I am happy to speak with you.
Of course. He'll step aside.
You see that Father Valentine stands at the exit to the garden, and he is taking time to shake everyone's hand. You know, if they are speaking to him and they are overcome with emotion, like upset, tired, anything, he is comforting them, putting his hand on their shoulder, kind of uplifting them. He's providing comfort in a way that shows, it seems that he very much cares about his parishioners. Florence kind of hangs back uncertainly, she heard you say that you wish to speak with him, so she just sits in the back row. She's reading a small book to herself. Anybody could tell that it's like a small Floridian Bible, just to pass the time. And then after every single one of the parishioners has left, he approaches you, and he's packing up sort of the honeyed mead and the chalices and his Bible. He goes, what can I do for you, my child?
And he'll do this in a bit of a whisper. He's like, so I noticed that Miss Florence here is showing similar signs of fatigue and worry as most do when they're in the service of a lord or a lady. But it seems to be a little more than just normal fatigue, from what I can tell. And I don't think I know any practitioners available at the moment.
He goes, well, I've been around the plague quite a bit. It's not pretty, I will say, though. The initial stages, it's almost impossible to tell what it is exactly a part of. It starts out so normal, but I can absolutely have a look at her if she consents. But I will say, I know Laridia is one of our most devout. She takes it upon herself very seriously to help the Partington family, since they helped her all those years ago, and it wouldn't surprise me if she is just very much in need of a very long sleep. But I can absolutely take a look at her if she wishes.
Of course. Did not want to overstep boundaries, but I do worry, as most others do, as we've all seen these last few days. And being so close to Lady Adira, I did not want to risk all.
He goes, well, from what I've seen, whatever is happening down in the lower edge, from what we've seen, it doesn't seem to pass by this. I just wear this mask to put others at ease and just to be sure, but it seems to be some sort of outside thing that is causing this, but we can't really tell what it is. So I don't think the Partingtons are at risk per se, but I think
if it got further along, would it do that?
I don't believe so, unless they accidentally ingested something from her.
Okay. Well, that puts me at ease a little. All right. And again, thank you for hearing me out.
I'm not going to
I
force her to do anything, I'm sure. I don't know
no.
how well you know her, but she's very polite, kind young girl, but she is very stubborn. But I suppose you have to be to work in the Partington house.
Very much so. All right. Well, I think I've said my piece. I will be escorting her back.
It was lovely to have you at service today, my son. Luridia go with you.
And to you as well. And he will step just outside, waiting for Florence to pass through.
She's already waiting for you out there.
Okay. Oh, so she already went out. Okay, my apologies. I thought she was still in. Said she'd
No,
come
I
back.
think she's just sitting out on a bench reading a book.
He will rejoin her. It's like, so, I talked with Valentine, and you know about my concerns, and I don't really know any other practitioners. Would you be amenable to speaking with him, or would you rather just go straight home?
Give me an insight check.
Okay. That's going to be a 21.
Okay. She looks irritated. And she goes, but she's very polite when she speaks. She goes, I would really much rather to go home. There's
Not an
only
issue.
so much time I have in my day.
Of course. I just thought I'd offer. And
I understand.
yeah. And so we start heading back to the estate.
She goes, how are you finding your time with the Partingtons?
Vexing, to say the least. Avros is handling himself as a lord should, I suppose. Though he does have his flights of fancy, which are genuinely a breath of fresh air to me. Lady Marina is just magnificent in all that she does, and seemed a little headstrong and about as stubborn as, well, kind of looks at himself as a bull. So
She turns to you in the street. She kind of stops. She goes, Mr. Thornpoint, may I speak with you candidly about something?
sure.
She kind of draws herself up to her full height, which is barely reaching your chin. She goes, I know it's not my place, but it bothered me the other day when I had asked you not to speak with Miss Marina about the newspaper so as not to upset her, and you went and did it anyway. Is there something I'm missing? Like, is my word not good enough for what I think would be best for Miss Marina?
Oh, nothing at all. Nothing wrong with that. After all, I can see how much you care for the family. It's just so strange that I could care for you, being that you are exhausted.
No, that's not what I'm speaking of. I'm talking
You're
about...
talking about the word of me holding a promise that I did not keep, really?
Yeah, that bothered me, because when she came home, she was very upset about it, more than she lets on. She doesn't really share her true feelings with anyone just outside her family, so it was not easy to see.
So she actually shared her true feelings this time.
She told me that you told her about the newspaper, and she was upset that it was written about her, and obviously with everything coming off with her father, it was just a lot for her.
So I ripped the band-aid off, so to speak, rather than just hide it all together.
But is that your call to make? You've only known her a couple days.
The call was mine to begin with. I made
I
the
just
choice.
wish you would do things with her well-being in mind. She's dealing with a lot.
Oh, trust me. I see it. I get that.
I think
But-
sometimes, Mr. Thornpoint, I think you veer towards honesty without really keeping in mind who it might hurt. I just wish you would be a little more mindful in the future if you wish to keep spending time in Miss Marina's presence.
Well, I'm not one to keep secrets.
I'm not
Nor am I
asking you
one-
to be I'm not asking you to keep secrets. I'm just asking you to be mindful. There's a time and a place for everything.
Well, I will give it some thought.
She's strong, and yet at the very same time she's
Mortal. Like the rest of us.
she's fragile. And not in a weak way, but she takes on too much. I just try to be mindful of that because I care for her like she is my sister.
Wait. Sister. I only know of her brother.
I say I care for her like she is my sister.
Oh, you said it in a strange way. My apologies. Very well. Well, that being said, I will mull it over while I finish my patrol.
She goes, if you don't mind, I can find my way back from here.
Very well.
Thank you for letting me speak openly, Mr. Thornpoint.
Honestly, feel free to do so at any time with me.
Thank you. And she turns and she gives you a small bow, and then she turns and heads in the direction of the Partington estate.
And with that, I think he will wait a moment, turn, then start heading back to the barracks.
Okay. And then I think we go back to the Fitzgerald estate. Everybody is sorry, I have a tendency to hold my breath for a long time, and I think we're just wrapping up dinner. What's everybody doing?
I was preparing to leave. I did give the excuse. Had a tea party in the morning, and I had like 20 billion things to do as a woman. And so I was preparing to graciously part on good terms with the host, and I was giving my compliments. It's like, it's lovely to meet you, Lord Fitzgerald, and it's a pleasure to meet you, Mrs. Jackson. I do hope that we get to see more of each other, and congratulations again on your pregnancy.
She goes,
Hope we get
next time my husband and I are in town, we will maybe be dropping in on you to give our regards.
Oh, I do hope I'm still around by then and haven't gotten myself sent back to Neverwinter. But we'll never know. We'll see. We shall see. And Maddie, and I like give you a big hug, and I'm just like, it's so lovely to see you again, and we have to catch up soon. And I just give you like a solid 2 thumps in the back saying, we need to catch up soon. And then of course I turn to Lord Fitzgerald and I'm like, I give him a curtsy and it's like, it was a pleasure to see you. And then to Gaius, I'm just like, and we must catch up as well. I do hope that I can find out about your handsome brothers. And then I just like make my I'm going for like demure, but it's still dramatic as fuck. And I just like make my exit. It's an exaggerated demure.
And Lord Fitzgerald goes, she's a bit of an old one, isn't she?
She is a bit
Yes.
lively.
She's definitely different. And where are you going, Sonari?
I'm heading to. I don't think we actually decided on a rendezvous point. I think I'm just going to be heading. Probably
I will
back.
just remind you guys that you can kind of treat the Partington estate as like your sort of base, because they said that you were welcome there whenever you want, but you are welcome to stay wherever you like.
Yep. So I had thought about going back to the Partington estate, but I think I'm going to. I think we did head to Guy. We were at Gaius's apartment for a little bit before we came around before, so I'm probably gonna head back to Gaius's. Once I am like, I just like head there after I've like a decent distance away from the estate, so they don't see that I'm heading towards the lower class area.
Okay. Sounds good. So you're heading to Gaius's apartment. You'll just wait for him there.
Yeah. Oh, and if at the door, like, he's gonna find me inside whether like the door's unlocked or not. I broke my way in, so.
That's great. Gaius, what about you?
I think he's going to say his goodbyes as well, but he's not going to be as over dramatic as Sonari was. Very casual about it. And when he addresses Maddie's friend, he's just like, "Congratulations on your child. I wish nothing for the best for you and your family. If you need any children's books, I've got a couple of those in circulation."
I'm so glad he said books.
If you need any children.
Yeah.
He's like, I probably have some in circulation.
He's like, you probably have some in circulation of those too. I don't know.
Hey, that's never been proven.
Call me up, baby. Like, whoa.
And then he's gonna give another respectful handshake to Lord Fitzgerald. Thank you for the lovely meal. It was a pleasure to finally meet you.
He says his goodbyes to you as well. And he goes, "I have to be honest, Mr. Tybalt, I very much misjudged you. You seem like a fine, upstanding man. Bawdry books aside. But I'm excited to read more of your publications."
Well, if you are a fan of hunting, I have a Monster Hunter series coming out soon.
Oh, he looks just so excited. He's like, "Really? I don't really find myself having a lot of time in the day for, frivolities and enjoyment such as reading, but I would definitely find some for that."
I've met a muse today, and let's just say the ideas are already spinning up.
And Rochelle goes, "A muse? Like, who?"
I can't give the name away. They wish to be anonymous.
Oh, he's a humble hero.
He doesn't want the attention.
Why didn't you tell Miss Sonari about that? Sounds perfect for her.
Now that you think of it, maybe. I don't know if Sonari's into the dashing hero types, but I could suggest it.
Who isn't? Frankly.
Well, after Lord Fitzgerald requests you send him a copy once it's done, he takes his leave. And I think Priscilla shakes your hand and then leans up to give you like one of those European kisses on the cheek, like one on both cheek. And on the second one, she goes, "That was very funny with that mouse."
I know, wasn't it?
And then she pulls away. She goes,
he doesn't even hide it. He actually respects that she caught that.
Yeah, I had her do like a perception check. She got an at 20. And I was like,
she saw
girl.
right through him. That boy was a window.
Yeah. So she backs away and she gives you a polite nod, and then she retreats to the bedroom to probably wait for Madeline.
They're alone now, right?
They are alone. There aren't any servants in the hall.
Gaius relaxes a little bit. Well, that's
so Fitzgerald's fucked off.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's went smoother than I thought.
Yeah, that was quite a trick with the soup.
I had to come up with something here. Like, my original plan wasn't going to work. Now that you're like, friend arrived. But I think Sonari and I pulled it off well enough that little illusory mouse in the soup sort of just happened to appear.
I don't know the servant's name, but like, I do hope that his stomach has survived that with Sonari.
That poor boy has no constitution. Like, Sonari put on a wonderful performance of like sounding like she was just losing her guts in the restroom, and well, just the sound of it brought him to his knees.
There's something I wanted to talk to you about before I talk with Priscilla.
Of course.
I originally was thinking about, I wasn't going to give her too many details about the Partingtons, but I wanted to include her on a little bit of it. At the very least of that we are trying to figure out what exactly happened. But I'm not sure.
I'm not one to tell you what to do with your own life, but I would highly recommend caution. We don't know how much danger any of us are in being so close as we are to it, and with her with child, we don't want to risk her family. I mean, if you want to tell her something, yes, keep it brief that we're helping. But I would suggest not to go too far into detail.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. How should I explain the mouse?
Oh, she already knows. She clocked it the moment I did it.
I know, but how should I explain why you did that? If she asks.
Say that you don't know. Do not let her know that's what Sonari was up to. Just make it sound like I was just trying to do a little practical joke at dinner. That I'm a bit immature.
We did used to play pranks. We didn't mess with the food to that degree, but okay. And then Sonari is just I can't think of the proper words, but my brain keeps on saying Sonari was just splash damage from it.
Collateral damage.
Collateral damage. Thank you. Sonari was just collateral damage from it.
Yes. I am going to be heading back to my apartment. If you need to reach me, you can find me there.
I was hoping to meet up with Sonari after to see what else, because I was supposed to be with her, but my father. That's another reason. I would have to come up with a reason why I would be leaving at night. Or leaving her there again. But if anything, I'll see you tomorrow.
Yes.
If I can't. Keep me updated the best you can.
I'll do whatever it is I can to get the information to you.
Thank you. And she hugs you.
He returns the hug. Now, go spend time with that friend of yours.
Okay.
Then he's going to see himself out, and since he said he was, going down to the lower edge himself, he's just going to walk right to his apartment.
Sounds good. Maddie, we can follow you. As you go to your bedroom, which is upstairs, you kind of have like a small tower as your bedroom, which is kind of nice. Priscilla's already there. She's unpacking her small little suitcase, which has her night clothes in it. And she goes, that was a very unexpected dinner.
Yeah. I agree. I was not expecting that additional guest with the soup.
Because, yeah, that was
Reassure you.
very obviously not a real mouse. Good thing your father's as gullible as ever.
Yeah, that's one thing that has not changed since childhood.
And it helped with your butler getting sick, so
I do hope he's okay.
he'll be fine. She sits down and she kind of is patting her little belly. She goes, I feel maybe it's not for me to say, considering I haven't been the best at staying in touch with life, but I feel like you're a bit different. Are you alright?
I have a lot on my mind, and I sit down next to her.
I can tell.
Always an open book, at least with you.
Well, when you get worried, you get that little line here, and if you don't unworry, it's going to stay there. Well, don't be too rough on it. She like takes your hand away. Jesus. Because you just don't, it's fine. I can just my little tell for when there's something on your mind.
So I met Sonari, and she's great. She is, one thing I can assure you, she's not usually that dramatic. She,
Oh no, I thought she was great. She would have been really wonderful to have with us when we were pulling pranks as a kid.
Absolutely. I think that the three of us absolutely would
Terrorize is the word.
terrorize the staff even worse. Honestly, I have a feeling that Sonari kind of continued the prank a bit more, but that's just my being. I mean, I know that she has somewhat of a weak stomach, but I think that she probably continued it a little bit with the theatrics. I invited. I want to tell you the real reason why I invited Sonari and Gaius to dinner. Sonari and I are becoming good friends, and I am so glad that you're able to visit because I'm hoping that three of us could be good friends. I didn't know about Gaius's other books or anything. The smut books until later, and I didn't realize, and I didn't know his. I can't think of the word. I didn't know his reputation at the Partingtons either.
Well, that's all right. I mean, with all due respect, your parents have kept you a little bit sheltered. Even I knew about that, but I didn't get to read them. Maybe I could sneak one in and we could read it together.
Absolutely. That's another thing that I wanted to talk to you about.
You're so serious. Am I in trouble?
No. I have a serious crush on Gaius.
Oh.
And I wanted him to meet my dad. I wanted him to meet father, and I was not expecting that mouse, and I told him to be on his best behavior, but it's fine. I just wanted to, because when I told father that I wanted to invite him to dinner, he knew what Gaius's reputation was. That's why mother is not here. She had to go do some shopping with her friend.
Oh yeah, your father said something about bosom pals? I figured.
Yeah. He made sure that he did that so that way she was out of the house. Because everyone assumes that Gaius is flirting and stealing wives and things like that. But
Is he?
I'm not sure if he does it intentionally. I went to the Rabbit's Foot the other night to go see him perform. I know a lot of things have happened. That I wanted to talk to you about. I went to the Rabbit's Foot to
Were you safe?
I was safe, absolutely.
What was it like? Were you alone?
I was not alone. Sonari was there along with other friends from the Partingtons that I've met.
The Partingtons were there?
No, from the Partingtons. When I met them at the same time, the same group of people.
Okay, I was like, what the heck? What are Lord and Miss Partington doing there?
No, just a couple other friends. Sonari and I walked there together.
I know they're very like bourgeoisie, sort of not bourgeoisie, but very
fancy.
bohemian. Yeah. They can be a bit more bohemian, but I didn't expect them to be that bohemian. But so, what was it like?
I saw Sargenty and Idol. It was great. I
don't know what that is.
A bunch of performers. There was a bunch of performers, and Gaius was one. Another girl named Anharad there, and she was incredible as well. She ended up winning, but the winner got to.
Do you mean Angharad Tuft?
I think is that her actually her last name? Yeah. Yes.
The one who's having a birthday party in 2 days? She was just out there? Her parents don't let her out of the house for anything.
She had a veil, so maybe it was someone pretending to be her. But I thought it was her. I'd never met her before until then, but...
Oh, and from what I've heard, just because servants talk and then servants talk to me, servants from over there have reported that she doesn't really show her face because she doesn't look like what you normally see.
Obviously don't tell my parents that I went to see Sargenty and Idol and the Rabbit's Foot and all that. But I think that you would enjoy. I know you wouldn't.
Are you? I guess I'm just surprised. Are you sure this is all very wise? I mean, you've only known this man a couple days, haven't you? And Miss Neverfell as well. I mean, it just seems so different from how you normally are.
I'm sure you know I've spent most of my life hiding. In just the fact that I was sheltered. But then, with you, it was just, I was always with you, and I never really had time on my own to figure things out. And they're helping me learn how to talk to people, honestly.
I guess this might be ridiculous of me to say because we have admittedly grown a little bit apart since I had to leave, but I guess I worry you're straying from me a little bit, and that would make me very sad. And from straying a bit from what your parents maybe think is best for you.
I have more things to tell you about. This has been, frankly, a hell of a week. I have more things to tell you as well. Because I have my painting and everything, and I can do some amount of magic. I might be going to college for taking some classes for magic. So that way I could learn more spells along with different things. So it's not like, I don't want you to think that I'm just going out and partying. I'm doing some actual work and all around.
Seems like a lot of big changes for you.
Frankly, it's kind of overwhelming.
Listen, Maddie, you are my best friend, but even I can recognize when I've had the tendency to steamroll you a little bit, just be a bit bossy, overly demanding, overly, I guess. I very much felt like I was the leader and you were the follower. I just want to make sure, obviously, that nobody is making you do anything you don't want to do. Including me. So if you need to stand up to me, stand up to me.
Overall we are friends, and you always took my feelings into account. But you are right, you have been the leader in this, which I needed. And now I'm able to learn how to do it myself. But I am happy with the choices I've made. The only one that I wish I could have more is I wish to see you more often, but I'm glad that I have you. You are my best friend. You are more than my best friend, and I want to spend more time together and include you in everything. So that's why I'm telling you these things.
Judgmental, but I don't think the things you're partaking in are very much for me. I mean, I'm going to be a mother soon, and when I heard I was going to have a little girl, I wanted to name her after you because you're exactly what a young lady should be, very sweet, kind, compassionate, listens to her parents. I just worry about you, that's all.
I know.
I do. I'm so sorry. But I am falling asleep as we talk.
Yes. I completely understand that. I just want to let you know what was going on, and I'm going to let you sleep. And
I hate to admit it, but since I am expecting my first child, I have a tendency to snore, so I'm sorry if I'm too loud. Just I can't find a comfortable way to sleep.
We'll be able to figure something out. I'm sure we will.
Okay. So she gives you a hug.
Mm-hmm. I hug her back.
Thank you for hearing me out. I would be a bad friend if I didn't at least say something.
Yeah, and I understand. And I want you to just keep in mind that it's not me having a rebellious streak. I'm just trying different things.
Maybe you are. Yeah. But a streak usually ends.
It's been a week.
I'm just saying sometimes they end, so maybe you just needed to go a little crazy before you become serious with your life, like school.
Yeah. Like right now I'm trying to figure those things out, but I am looking forward to going to school and everything, and then who knows, maybe my paintings will take off.
You hear very soft snoring on your shoulder.
Yeah, and she's like, maybe my painting. She's like, oh, okay. She like gently like lays her down. And I am going to leave a note in code of I will be back soon. Like if you wake up, I'll be back soon.
Okay.
Love you.
And are you heading out?
Yes, I'm heading out.
I am gonna need a stealth check.
Yeah, I figured. clanging all the pots and pans on the way out. All right, that one's actually really good. Okay, let me see with any pluses. $21.
Okay. In a way that's almost reminiscent of you as a child, you sneak out, lit only by the moonlight through the big windows, and you manage to open the door to your little manor and make your way down the gravel driveway down towards where Gaius's apartment is. It is a bit of a walk.
Mm.
Are you flagging down a McDonald or grabbing a horse or?
Yeah, I'll flag down a McDonald.
One appears like that. He goes, "Hello?
Hi. Go ahead.
I understand you need a ride?"
Yes.
Right, he goes.
Just
He
go
opens
ahead.
the door for you. And then you can hop on in after he opens the door for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hop in.
And he jumps into the driver's seat and he takes you a lot quicker down to where Gaius's apartment is. You kind of have to give him directions because you don't have the exact address, but you just know it's somewhere in the lower edge, which is extremely vague. So,
yeah.
But you get there eventually, so it's the three of you at Gaius's. And as you arrive, he opens the door for you. He goes, "If you ever are giving a review to anyone, just tell them my name is Monald. Monald McDonald.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Monald McDonald."
Of course, my lady. And he sets off into the night.
Incredible.
Oh,
Monald.
Such things that man has seen. What are you guys doing?
I think when Gaius first arrives at his apartment, he notices that the door is unlocked. So like he instinctively like reaches down and like takes a boot knife like out of like his left boot as he just like slowly like opens the door and like begins like to scan the inside of it.
And you'll immediately notice that Sonari is like at the chair, like feet up on the table like this, like, you know, she's just like, you know, like eating an apple that you've had in the kitchen, and she's reading one of your books.
Which one? Is it a spicy book?
Of course it's a spicy book. She doesn't do shit by halves. And she's just reading going, "Oh, that's just not physically feasible."
And as he walks in, he like tucks the knife back into his boot. People don't pay for physically feasible. They want the extreme of something they can never handle themselves, but it sounds good in their mind.
Looky, I understand that part, but like, there's a point where you just kind of go, well, hold on a second, he was in front of her at one point, but now apparently he's behind her? Like, and it's like, are they standing on their heads? That's not making sense.
Look, even
it's still a great moment, like the bodice rip. Oh, genius. Anyway, what took you so long?
I walked.
Oh, I walked too.
Fair,
I would have thought that longer legs would be quicker.
How tall is Sonari?
He's like 5'2". She's tiny.
Yeah, he's like, I'm only like 2 inches taller than you.
That's 2 inches more.
Guys is only 5'2".
Don't you guys always like say that it's like the inches matter?
What?
Never
That's
mind.
what she said.
Anyway, I take it that you were successful on your endeavor.
Oh yeah. Is Maddie turning up?
We can have you turn up at this time. If you want.
Probably hear the
fast
clapping
travel.
of horses hooves, and you hear, "If you need a driver, just call out for Monald McDonald," and then you hear Sonari's footsteps up to the door.
Oh, it's the old McDonald.
Knock on the door.
Gaius just opens it up. Fancy meeting you here.
I told you I'd meet you later. And Like looks at Snake. Like,
And just
waves
like
at
wave
her.
him. Yeah, just wave him behind.
Oh, before I forget, I was talking with Priscilla, and she is interested in your books. The books my father are not interested in reading.
Oh, you really want one of those? I got one here. This one's alright.
Oh, which one? And she like pushes past Gaius to go in and pick up the book.
What's the name
On the cover, you probably see like a man who's like part phoenix. He's got his billowing shirt open,
Yeah, like
and his plumage is like part flame, part bright blue feathers. And there is a small gnomish woman in his arms. Her feet are dangling like a couple feet off the ground, but she's like this in his arms. And the title, what's the title?
The Captain's Captive.
Ooh, okay. He's got a
I wanna
captain's
read that.
hat on too.
Yeah, you should
Slightly
see the
singed.
Yeah, he's
like-
rising from the ashes in this one. Come take a look.
And she's like looking at. Does it look like he's like part human? Like, is it anthropomorphic bird, or is it like okay? Like,
Just how she's asking how furry is it?
It's an error cockroach.
yeah. Like what's the, and it, because she's like, and she like looks to guys. Does he have a? He's like he doesn't have a cloaca, does he?
You're gonna have to read to find out.
I will have to.
I haven't reached that scene yet, but like so far he's been topping.
Interesting. Okay, and like she hands the book back to Sonari so she can keep reading. Or if she wants to hold on to it, I'll get another copy. But
It's all good. I need to tell you if I keep reading this, I'll forget why I'm here.
okay, and puts it in a bag.
Yeah. So I'm just like now I open up my little compartment on my dress and start. Okay, so here is some shit that we found out. And just like slap the Rumpo report down, I slap the agreement down, and I point to her and go, and your dad's been writing about you.
Okay.
I would say, Sonari, I might have not been very clear. The letter that was in the embers was addressed to Lord Fitzgerald, but it contained the subject of his daughter, Madeline. So
I understood that. I'm about to explain, but I'm just like the impression my impression is the fact that there's been correspondence about her, and he might have written back, most likely. So that's her. The way that Sonari goes is like she reads something and she makes 15 logical steps, and then she says a thing and she goes, "Okay, I have to explain how I got here."
Yeah.
She goes, right, so we can read about this in a second, but with you, I point back at Maddie, there was a burnt letter in your dad's fireplace because these types always burn their letters. It's a good way of destroying things, but it's always in the fireplace. I never just go out the back or something, but anyway, I'm digressing to things of the trade. Someone has written to your dad on nice fancy fancy paper, because there wasn't a lot of it left, but it mentioned you. Someone was writing to your dad about you. Unfortunately, your dad got a lot of the letter, so burned, so I couldn't get any juicy details. But knowing these high class fancy pantsy types and the way that your father was talking about, you can't have a woman doing business, I'm going to guess that it's going to be probably someone's looking to court you if they were writing about you. But I'm doing logic leaps here.
Do you have the letter with you?
Yeah, I was gonna.
No, I didn't take the letter because I didn't want to get soot in my dress. Otherwise, I would have had a hard time explaining it.
Smart.
Would I be able to do like a history check, something to kind of figure out about the type of paper if I know of any people that would be able to?
It's sure. Go ahead.
Nope. I rolled as 5+ close.
She wasn't
to.
really descriptive on the paper anyway, so she's
Yeah,
like,
I'm getting nothing.
fancy, kind of red, like, I don't know, like, you know, and also the red could have been from the fire, it was kind of burning, like, you know, but no, I just thought that you should know about it because we're friends.
Thank you. I will have to investigate that a bit further. But what about these other papers? What are these?
Right, espionage, more important. So here is the invoice. Here is an invoice showing that last week your father, the Fitzgeralds, got an import of Nightwing for about 20 to 30, what was it, pounds of it?
Boxes.
Boxes. 20 to 30 boxes of Nightwing, and they were helped transported by the Werinaris family. And I also have this agreement with the people. It's been redacted. Who the redacts a contract? It's been redacted, but these are the people who's given your dad permission to get Nightwing from the forest in exchange for, you know, money, tea, permission, that sort of crap. And there is this really fancy stamp. It looks like a sun. It looks like a hand. Like, you know, sometimes it might look like a weird. It looks kind of weird. Do either of you recognize this?
Can I make a history check on this? False.
On the symbol?
The symbol, yeah.
Sure.
Me too.
Nat 20 for 24.
Okay. I would say that while you I would say that you're not as involved in business as other people.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really have like the mind for contracts, etc. And while you have a very good knowledge of like pretty much everybody in Sargenty, you have never seen this symbol before. But you recognize that it also looks like both a sun and a grasping hand. And it looks incredibly formal. And I would say that you notice that like it's not just some thieves sort of like signature or anything common. This is hardcore. This is a big deal. But you couldn't say where it's from.
Are there any houses that have like a crest of a hand grasping something or of a
Not
sun?
that you know of. No.
For Nightwing, is its only use poison, or does it have other uses?
Well, if Gaius had shared this with you guys, or sorry, I guess it would have been Arbelriel if he had chosen to share this with you guys, which I'm guessing he didn't. Nightwing is not very well known. I guess you could give me a nature check if you like.
No, she's looking at that. Gaius is going to shake his head. He's like, I've never seen that symbol before in my life.
17.
17. You are very well versed in flowers and whatnot. However, something like Nightwing, which you know comes from the center of the forest, the only time you've ever really heard of it was in regard to Lord Partington's murder. Outside that, there is not a whole lot of research being done. It's very new since it was used in sort of a poison, but everybody's kind of not super clear on what it's used for. I think they're still doing research on it, but you are not super familiar.
I mean, 20 to 30, I think 25 boxes of this. That's a lot. I mean, especially considering how with Lord Partington, or with the late Lord Partington, how quickly it how quickly it happened and how little amount was needed for that. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think that they're going to be like, they're all going to be tiny boxes about this big. They're going to be.
I'm thinking crates.
They're going to be big bastards. Yeah. There's no point going to this much for a ring box. We're going to be and if they're going to be, and if you're importing that much of something, you know what it's for, you know what you need it for, and I don't think your family, the tea business, is exactly looking for research into this.
Does the manifest say who these boxes were intended for once they brought them into the city?
We have a warehouse address.
Ooh.
Of where that's it. Yep. Yes. Ooh. You're getting it. You're getting it. We're on the wavelength here. Like, they've got a warehouse here where we can find out just how many of the big bastard boxes there are. And also, of course, more information about things and but
Night raid?
we have a paper trail.
Night raid?
Night raid?
Should we call for our Belriel, or
I'm
so sorry, I forgot your
should
name.
be a group.
Your in-game name.
It should be a group effort.
Reggie.
Strength in numbers, and it would help to have a member of the Wings with us if we're caught breaking into somebody's warehouse. We could say official city business or something.
Of course, yeah, exactly. Lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bold-faced
okay
lie.
With this?
I've already done enough of that today. Let's keep going with it, I suppose.
And also, we can find out, was it, the warehouse was the only sort of address mentioned in this that, they work with?
No, it was not at all. It's just that this was the one that the Fitzgerald has listed as, like, their preferred drop-off point, but there were other locations.
Can I do an investigation check on, any other locations that might come up as, being, stand out as being important?
You don't even have to really roll for that. I would say that your knowledge of the city, you know that these are small family-owned factories by some of these richer families, kind of scattered throughout the upper crust. I mean, our Belriel has one of his own, the Fitzgerald have one of their own, even the Tybalts have one of their own. Just these family businesses that are kind of, they pertain to some of these. And you would already know where they're located with your knowledge of the city.
Yeah. And if we decide that maybe the warehouse is too big a target, we've got all these other places to go to as well. Though I am a fan of the warehouse.
Me too. But I do agree that we should have Reggie or someone else to come with us.
Would be heroes. Thank you for that raid.
Thank you.
To the raid. We need a coordinated plan. We can't go in half shtick like we did. It worked for today, but for a dinner, but for a big ass warehouse with probably things like security, and if the security from the Wiranaris family, who I've heard send their fucking guards to the mountains to go and train in solitude for 2 years before they come back and do things.
Is this Batman Begins?
Yes,
Look here,
from what I've heard, it's true.
Raisha Ghul's secret last name was Wiranaris.
Yeah.
It's just look here. This
You
is just
haven't
rumors.
beaten me.
These are just
You'd
rumors
sacrifice good
I've
pudding
heard.
for a killing stroke. I had such a crush on Liam Neeson in that movie. It was revolting. Go ahead. I don't mean to sidetrack, but it was very impressionable upon my young mind.
Look, I mean, he's still very attractive.
But I think it was specifically Ra's al Ghul. I was like, okay.
Liam Neeson plays a really good bad guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, true.
I'm going to watch that tonight.
A British villain being attractive. Wow, can't imagine that.
A fork was found in the kitchen.
Groundbreaking.
Yeah.
God.
I just hide all
This
my
is brand
location.
new information. Sorry, I did not mean to sidetrack with my lustful young behavior. Go ahead.
But anyway, like that's the shit I've heard about how they train like their lower things, let alone like their higher ups. Like they're a big, the security's big deal. So we need a plan, and we need to coordinate together. So we need to get Arby and Reggie gathered, so we can figure out what the hell we gotta do.
Agreed.
Question: does anybody know where Arby lives?
Not willingly.
You don't willingly know, or you know where he doesn't willingly live?
It's knowledge I don't have, and it's knowledge I don't willingly go to search for.
Right.
Maddie, do you want to roll me a history check?
Yeah. Ooh, okay. 21 again.
That's fantastic. I would say that just with your knowledge of just the high class society people, you would obviously know where Arby's house is, and it's very large. He's very obviously super rich, almost ostentatiously, and you know exactly where his is. Only a bit down from where the Partington estate is, I would say.
Didn't
Wonderful seaside view.
Didn't Arby leave his dragon with Gaius to go to the party?
Good question.
I
think you did.
Did I?
I
know
feel
he
like
left
you
him for
did.
Yeah, I think
know
like,
Possibly. Sounds like something I would
because
do.
if that's the case, Gaius is just gonna reach into his bag or into his pocket and pull that little dragon out, and he's just gonna like look at it. He's like, connect with your boss. I need to talk to him.
he just like
just Animal
just like-
Crossing.
Just dial the dragon.
the dragon has like it's mobile.
Animal Crossing right there.
Arbeliel, what does it feel or sound like when someone's trying to get to you through Dane?
Well, we can kind of communicate and share emotions in a way, like telepathically. So it probably feels just like a gentle tugging at the back of my mind, that a sensation I'm familiar with when somebody's trying to communicate through, and feeling that he will, because he's probably still just in his study, he will look through Dane's eyes and then speak through him as well, as suddenly Arbelriel's voice
So cool.
comes out of this little lung dragon. Like, do you have any idea how late it is right now?
Oh, he's talking again.
Yes, I do. Important discovery just happened about the whole situation. I don't care what you're doing right now. Drop it all, get dressed, get your ass to my apartment.
I have many questions.
They will be answered when you come here.
My first question is, where the hell's your apartment?
Fair.
635 Greenbrook Lane.
And what should I be dressing for?
Crimes.
For what?
Crimes.
Crimes.
Oh, I thought you said pride. I'm like, yes, Pride Month, baby. Let's
Time to
fucking
bust out the
go.
rainbow suit.
Instead of black and white, it's all rainbow.
Arbeliel just shows up like, born this way.
The back
The
of the
fan.
suit is like embroidered with the pride flag.
Hell yeah.
Out of character question. Isn't the funeral tomorrow?
Yes, it is. Crack of dawn.
Maybe we
Well,
should.
not crack of dawn. I just call that to any early hour because I hate waking up early. But I think it's scheduled for like around 10 a.m. The butt crack of dawn.
Yeah.
And my mom's like, it's noon.
The sun's out. It's too early.
Yeah.
Sun's out.
It's about 10 o'clock in the morning tomorrow.
So you want to go do crimes at this hour when we all have to be presentable for a funeral tomorrow?
Have you never pulled an all-nighter before?
Oh, we do have
Too
that
many.
tomorrow.
But
Maybe-
not for committing crimes.
Maybe we
But,
should just be having a conversation and then choosing another day.
Hold on. I have a question here. What you just said. How many crimes have you committed?
He's a rich man. Of course, he's committed crimes.
At
They're
least,
All
just white
day, every day,
collar.
tax evasion.
yeah, but that doesn't require an all-nighter.
It takes all nighter to rob from your employees. Come on, in capitalism.
Okay, fine.
real.
If nobody wants to go do it tonight, let's just have a discussion at my place now. A lot of things have been revealed.
How are we going to contact Reggie? We do need to contact the. We do need to contact the Minotaur. We can't just leave him out.
Knowing Reggie, he's probably at the barracks. I'll swing by on my way over.
Thanks, Abby.
Now how do
It's
I
our bell reel.
now how do I turn the dragon off? It's like
You
he's
like poke it, and it squeals and like nips at your fingers like.
10
If he bites
minutes
you,
in.
it's your own fault. I'll be there soon.
he just sets the dragon down, just lets it run around the apartment.
Dane gives you a very baleful look before he runs and hides in your hamper.
Do you have? And she like walks over to like the. Do you? What do you prefer to eat? Like to the
little fey dragon.
the little fey dragon. Okay.
You speak Fae.
I actually,
Sylvan.
I would like to cast comprehend languages. Would that work?
I
And
don't
it's-
see why
okay.
not.
For the duration, you understand the literal meaning of any spoken language that you hear. You also understand any written language but you must be touching the surface on words are written. Okay, that's spell writing. It takes about 1 minute to read. Oh, it was just refreshed. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
You could cast comprehend languages.
Awesome. So I cast comprehend languages on. His name is Dane, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
on
as you
Dane.
do, you see the dragon kind of go from I can't believe that I gotta be stuck with these people here. This is absolutely the worst job he's ever put me on, and this hamper smells like butt.
Why does your dragon sound like Tommy Lee Jones?
Hey!
Hey, Slim.
Hey,
missed
Slim.
Well, I was going to see about getting you a snack, but
Wait, no, I'm like really hungry. I'm so starving.
what would you like?
Man, I'll take anything. I ain't picky. Not like our burial.
Good to know.
He skitters up your arm and onto your shoulder. He goes, you know, anytime you want to ditch these suckers, I'm right with you.
I completely understand, but we're waiting for our bell reel anyway, so let's get you some food, and then we'll figure out what we're gonna do, okay? But hopefully I'll find you someplace that smells a bit better. Which is really funny that you hear me talking about that, and then you just hear.
Oh, you guys have made good friends. And I like scratch the top of his head.
And he kind of nuzzles into it, but maybe you scritch a little too hard and he ducks out of it and hides kind of on Maddie's shoulder, like where her hair is falling.
you scratched a little too hard. Just gotta be gentle with him. I guys,
have a little noggin.
He has a little noggin.
Yeah, Taylor.
That he does.
Guys, do you have any food? That I'm sorry to be not as I'm sorry to ask for any food as a guest, but
Help yourself.
apparently Dane is pretty hungry, so I go and
I think as you guys are
food.
finding food for Dane, we can cut to our Belriel arriving at the barracks where Reggie is before we end for the night.
Just kind of like gets up from his bunk because like he was just about to lay down. Oh, and just puts on like normal clothes. Just goes out to the front, sees all Belriel. I was like, "Oh, what's going on, Lord Belriel?"
Why so formal, Reginald?
RB.
Go back to being formal.
There we go. So, didn't expect anyone to come visiting this late, especially with what's going on tomorrow.
Our presence is requested at Gaius's place.
Where's that at? I've never been.
I happen to have the address right here.
Okay, cool. It just like rolls his shoulder and is like, all right, I guess we can just start walking then.
As you guys are walking down the street, Reggie, can you give me a Constitution saving throw?
Sure. I think I know what this is from.
We're gonna have to. Sorry, guys. We're gonna have to put Reggie down. Mad cow disease.
Hey, that's not funny. I actually went through Germany during that time frame. No, that's gonna be a 23 actually.
Okay. As you're walking down the street with our Belriel, you are hit with a wave of something. You can't tell whether it's nausea or something worse, but it buckles you to your knees on the cobblestone street. And you kind of hit it with a thud. You can feel kind of like spasms moving through you, as if something has come and is just clenching around your heart. And you feel your mouth filling with saliva, like you're gonna throw up. And but as soon as it happens, it passes. But you are still on the cobblestone street, like someone just like punched you in the gut and downed you.
Ooh.
And as you come to, you see like kind of burnt, like when you look at the sun for too long and you have like those blue spots in your vision, you see something burned into your vision. And it's a very odd shape, but it's like black against your vision. And it's almost like some kind of weird black sun. But as soon as the nausea or whatever it is passes through you, it's gone. Your vision clears, still on the cobblestone street. Arby, you probably hear a thud behind you and you turn around and...
It's like he looks like he's got both his knees and a fist into the ground for a moment. Ooh. Ooh.
You all right over there, Reggie?
Kind of like takes a deep breath and just gets up to one knee. It's like, huh. Maybe I shouldn't have gone to that meeting.
What meeting?
I'll tell you once we get to the Gaius's place.
Are you sure you should continue? You're not looking so great. We can head back to the barracks.
I'll be fine for now.
I would say, Arbeliel, it looks like he's winded, but otherwise, he's okay.
Just a weird sensation all of a sudden, like I stood up too fast.
You get that often?
Normally, only right after I stand up. So it's a very weird delay. Regardless, I think we'll be fine. Lead on.
And I do, slightly hesitantly.
And as you guys walk into the night, Reggie a little shaken, wondering what that black thing was in your vision, we're gonna have to end it for today.
Next session, you're welcome. We're all together.
Yes! I can tell you how happy I am.
The gang's back together. Since
Only
episode
separated
1.
a little bit later.
Shut up. Haven't I been a good DM?
Yeah, you've been great.
You've been
Great.
amazing.
You've been
What did I do
surviving our-
wrong? Why do you guys keep splitting up?
Welcome to being a DM. It's like herding cats.
Well, no, I am glad you guys are finally coming together. I hope you guys had fun. That's it for this week on the Downfall of Propriety. After a month away, we are back at it and hit it.
Oh, me, right.
That's your cue.
That's me. Let me go ahead and pause the music here. Thank you everyone for tuning on in for this afternoon. If this is your first time here, this is not the only show that we do. Coming up later on tonight, 8 p.m. Pacific time, is going to be the second episode of our new Daggerheart campaign, the City of Redemption. Really excited for to get the crew back together for that one. On Monday, we are going to have another episode of Destiny Forge, which is our longest running show here on the channel. Currently in its 4th campaign. On alternating Tuesdays, we've got Star Wars Tales of the Outer Rim, which is a Star Wars game that is run by Tiltbot. On Thursdays, we have 2 alternating shows. Coming up this Thursday is going to be another episode, I believe. It's Tricorn Isles, because it was Mass Effect last time. So yeah, it'll be Tricorn Isles, which is another 5th edition game that I run. And then on the alternating Thursdays, it is Mass Effect Horizons, which is a 5th edition mod Mass Effect game that is run by Zorro. And then on Saturdays, we have alternating shows as well. Coming up next week, we have another episode of Withered Wastes, which is a 5th edition game that I run, starting at noon Pacific time. On the alternating Saturday at noon Pacific time, you have us here for the Downfall of Propriety, which is a Bridgerton-inspired Regency Era game that is run by Malls. Coming up next week at 8 p.m. next Saturday at 8 p.m. is another episode of Vigilant 6, which is our superhero-inspired game. And then, as I said earlier, today, as it is the alternating Saturday, is going to be another episode of the City Redemption, which is our brand new Daggerheart game. It is also going to be kicked off by a Deck of Many Things poll, seeing as how it was Cass's birthday yesterday. So happy birthday, Cass.
Happy birthday.
But yeah, for now, we are going to head on out, get some rest and everything. And we will see you tonight at 8 for Daggerheart. So then, have a good one.
Adios, muchacho.